Chapter 354. Do you think there are people in this world who know internal strength? Although the old man knew that Wang Yao's medical skills were quite amazing, he still couldn't believe it when he heard that Wang Yao knew internal strength. However, he felt that the changes in his body were real and obvious. Well, I haven't heard of it, the middle-aged man replied with a smile. He didn't believe in such things. He attributed the changes in the old man's body to the magic of the medicine instead of the so-called internal strength. This was illusory and purely deceptive. However, he still couldn't say it out loud for fear that it would cause the old man's dissatisfaction. He had to report it to his superiors in time when he went back. After the old man left, Wang Yao wrote the treatment process in his notebook. These things are destined to not be popularized, he thought to himself. He had too many unique things, so he could treat some rare diseases. Therefore, the so-called sacred Chinese medicine practitioners were surprised. Near noon, he received a call from Wang Mingbao. The 3 people who intended to do something bad to him were released. So soon? Yes, what do you think? I told my friend. They are the kind of people who are particularly annoying, but their performance during the detention period was not bad, so I considered releasing them directly. It is reasonable to say that such people should be detained for a longer period of time. I'll go and torture them, Wang Yao said with a smile. After lunch and a short rest, Wang Yao drove to Lianshan County. He then waited outside the detention center with Wang Mingbao. After about half an hour they saw the door open. 3 people came out from inside. They were the 3 people who were caught in the hotel that day. One of them was quite strong. Brother, are we still going to do that? Nonsense, if we do it again, it won't be as simple as just a few days of detention, the strong man said. But we have already taken the money, the strong man said. So what? Did we do it for nothing? The strong man asked. Yes, are you stupid? The strong man asked. Hey brother, look who that is. The 3 of them chatted as they walked forward. Suddenly, they saw a person walking towards them with a smile. Upon closer inspection, this person looked somewhat familiar. Wasn't this the person they wanted to do? Who hired you? Wang Yao said. What? Come. Wang Yao waved his hand and then went to the open space by the road. There was a small forest there. Hiss, what's going on? The 3 of them looked at each other. Go. The muscular man said. When he entered the small forest, he was even more surprised to find that he was alone. What was this? Did they take the initiative to deliver themselves to him? Tell me, who hired you? So you know about it? The leader of the brawny men asked. Can you guys go in? What? The brawny man's expression changed drastically. Is this your doing? Yes. Wang Yao's expression was calm. You're courting death. The 3 men's faces turned ferocious. These were all people who had committed crimes several times. They were all ruthless characters. When they heard about this matter, their evil intentions were immediately aroused. Why don't I just do it right here? Since you don't want to say it, don't blame me. Air-splitting punch. With 3 punches, the 3 of them were each sent flying 5 meters away. This was still Wang Yao's control of his strength. Vomit. The 3 of them covered their stomach. The few meals they had in the morning were all vomited out. Their stomachs were tumbling and painful. They felt as if their internal organs were twisted together. Damn, this kid is a martial artist. They had encountered a tough opponent. The 3 of them quickly got up from the ground and endured the discomfort and pain in their stomach. They surrounded Wang Yao in the middle. Wang Yao's body moved. The 3 of them covered their stomachs and retreated a few steps. This time, the impact was not as strong as the previous one. Do you feel any discomfort in your stomach? Wang Yao stood in the same place and did not move. Colic? The 3 of them were stunned for a moment. Soon, you will vomit and have diarrhea. Well, one of them was very cooperative and hiccuped. Soon, they really felt the tumbling in their stomach. This situation was the same as Han Jiabao's, but more serious. For scumbags, Wang Yao did not mind using some strong means to improve their impression of him and add more gray chapters to their lives. Vomit. One of them could not stand it anymore and vomited directly. Boss, I can't stand it anymore. One of them clamped his legs and covered his butt as he ran to the side. Some things in life could not be delayed, such as diarrhea. I can't stand it anymore. The leader of the strong men also felt very uncomfortable in his stomach. This is just the beginning. Later, you will feel bloated and your stomachs will become bigger. Finally, bang! Wang Yao made the action of a balloon exploding. If you understand, go to the police station and turn yourself in. If you dare to come to the mountain village again, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. Wang Yao said calmly and turned to leave. The strong man could not be ruthless now because his stomach did not cooperate. He directly found a place to take off his pants and defecate on the spot. That afternoon, the three of them contributed a lot of fertilizer to the forest. They had diarrhea and vomited when they walked. They really understood the extreme. Boss, what did he do to us? How would I know? Let's go to the hospital. The three of them took a taxi to the county hospital. In the end, one of them had diarrhea and the other vomited all over the car. The taxi driver was so disgusted that the money he earned from this trip was not enough to clean the place. What bad luck! The three of them went to the county hospital. They did a checkup but did not find any problem. The three of them vomited and had diarrhea in the hospital. It seemed that they were going to die. You should hurry to the city hospital. The doctor in charge of the emergency department was anxious. No matter how he looked at it, it looked like malignant food poisoning. The three of them hurried to the Hike People's Hospital. However, there was still no problem at the county hospital. Why don't you go to the provincial hospital? The three of them had no strength to walk now. Their stomachs were so bloated that it was as if they were pregnant. The provincial hospital? Their faces were deathly pale. Their stomachs were bloating. Would they really explode like a balloon like that person said? The more they thought about it, the more scared they became. What if they went to the provincial hospital? It was already difficult for them to go to the city in their current situation. How could they go to the provincial hospital? A considerable part of human fear came from the unknown. Should we go and turn ourselves in? They all had the same idea in their minds. They had never experienced the feeling of living a life worse than death. They did not dare to think about it. Turn ourselves in? The policeman in charge was stunned. Yes, we turned ourselves in. We were hired to hurt someone, the strong man said. Who? Wang Yao, the policeman said. Just like that, things began to take shape. The policeman endured the stench and finished the interrogation. What's going on? During the interrogation, they either vomited or had diarrhea. It looked like they were seriously ill. Could they fall here? Sir, we would like to see Wang Yao in person, the strong man said. Why? To express our apologies. Is that necessary? Please, it is necessary, the strong man said. If they did not see him in person, the three of them might really burst their stomachs. Okay, I'll contact him, the strong man said. Hey, what method did you use? Wang Mingbao was very surprised to hear the news. He had heard from his friend that the three of them were habitual offenders. They were stubborn. It was very rare for them to take the initiative to confess. Most people cherish their lives, Wang Yao said. There is a kind of horror called living a life worse than death. He was in a bit of a dilemma. It was really Chu Yang, Wei Hai's brother-in-law. What are you going to do about this? I'll say hello to Wei Hai first, then do business. Since Chu Yang had the intention to harm people, it was impossible to let him go. Wang Yao could not repay evil with good. He was not a saint or a bodhisattva. After receiving Wang Yao's call, Wei Hai was very surprised. His brother-in-law really dared to do it. Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. Business was business. Wei Hai had nothing to say. After all, if this happened to anyone, it would not be over. Wei Hai greeted his wife. What? Xiao Yang would not do such a thing. Why not? You don't know your brother's character. He has been spoiled since he was a child. He is arrogant and domineering. This time, he asked for it. Wei Hai said coldly. We can't let him go to the police station. Otherwise, his life will be over. If he doesn't go to the police station, his life will be over. Wei Hai was too lazy to talk to his wife. He went upstairs directly. It was a tragedy to have such a relative. The moment the police car arrived at the villa, Chu Yang's parents were stunned. They did not believe that their son would do such a thing. Chu Yang, on the other hand, was unusually calm. However, after entering the police station, he, who had never experienced an interrogation, was quickly interrogated. Hiring people to commit arson and attempted to hire people to injure others was a criminal offense, and he would be sentenced. It's all his fault. It's all his fault. Until now, Chu Yang still blamed Wang Yao for this. Chu Yang's sentence was quickly passed down. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison. This was the result of the family's persuasion. 6 months? Wang Yao was not very concerned about this result. If he came out to cause trouble again, it would not be a problem of going to prison. For this matter, Wei Hai specially came to him to apologize. After all, he was the one who brought the people in at the beginning. He is him. You are you. Wang Yao replied. He knew how to deal with this matter. Anyway, this matter came to an end. Wang Yao also went to the county's public security bureau to meet the 3 people. According to the rules, he could not meet them. Even if he wanted to meet them, it would be a visit. However, the situation was special. The 3 people could not make it and were directly hospitalized. Chapter 355. Do you know you were wrong? We were wrong. We were wrong. When the 3 people saw Wang Yao, they almost knelt on the ground, which surprised the police officer. He was very clear about the situation of such a person. He was a wily old fox who was stubborn. Even when he was in the police station, he could still be calm in front of the police. But in the current situation, it was obvious that he was subdued by this person. What kind of method is this? I have to learn. I don't want to see you in the future. Yes, yes. The 3 people almost kowtowed to admit their mistake. Wang Yao quickly unblocked the twisted meridians that were forcibly blocked by external force for them. Well, you will recover in 3 days. Thank you, thank you. They all had to express their gratitude. Hey brother, I want to ask you a question. How did you treat them? They are so obedient, a curious police officer asked. This is a secret. Wang Yao smiled slightly. This matter was concluded just like that. Because of this matter, the situation between Wei Hai and his wife, which had eased up a little, turned into a cold war. That day, Yang Haichuan's mother came again. According to the agreement she made with Wang Yao before leaving last time, she came for a follow-up examination. She recovered very well. Through the diagnosis, it was confirmed that the yin poison in her internal organs was almost completely removed, leaving only a little residue. Wang Yao repeated the treatment. He did not use any medicine, only neishi. The effect was still good. The old woman left with a smile. There was another patient that day, Zhou Wukong. The father and son came in the afternoon. They had just rushed over from Sangzhou. After settling down for a while, they rushed over. They still looked a little tired. Come on, drink some water first. Wang Yao prepared tea for them. Thank you, uncle, Zhou Wukong said with a smile. The child's character had been sunny and confident since the beginning. After the tempering of the disease, the child was far more mature than his peers. After this period of treatment and recovery, there was no obvious difference between the appearance of his left arm and his right arm. The only difference was that it was slightly slimmer. Wang Yao carefully checked the meridians of the whole arm to check the condition of the vessels of the whole arm. Not bad. His meridians were basically unobstructed. What he needed to do next was to constantly move and stimulate his meridians. He wanted to make those small meridians unobstructed as soon as possible. Once his qi and blood were unobstructed, his illness would be considered cured. Wang Yao then began to treat him with his neishi. He gathered his internal breath on his palm and then slowly seeped into his arm. It went through his acupoints and meridians, and then flowed along the meridians to his entire arm and even his whole body. How do you feel? It's quite comfortable, Zhou Wukong said. This arm and even half of his body felt very comfortable and warm. It was as if a stream of heat had entered his arm from Wang Yao's palm and then flowed through his body. Everywhere it passed by, it felt very comfortable. Every tissue and cell in his body felt as if they were soaking in a hot spring. I think he'll recover in about a week, Wang Yao said. That's great, Zhou Xiong said happily. Yes. Zhou Xiong and his son stayed in Wang Yao's clinic for a while after receiving treatment. Then they left. Time passed quickly. More than half of the year had passed. In mid-September, the chestnuts should be ripe. There were several chestnut trees on Nanshan Hill where Wang Yao lived. Some of them were old trees, and some of them were planted by Wang Yao when he first came up the hill. They were considered new trees. These chestnut trees were full of fruit. Some of the fruits had begun to change color. It looked like they were about to be ripe. One day, Wang Yao picked 2 chestnut pods on the hill. He dug out the fruits inside and tasted them. They tasted fresh and sweet. They were ready to be eaten. However, it took some effort to peel the chestnuts. Wang Yao was studying treatise on miscellaneous diseases in his cottage when the dog barked outside. Well, someone came up the hill. A graceful woman slowly came up the hill. Why are you here? I missed you. After walking for a while, Tong Wei's pretty face was a little red. Take a break and drink some water. Wang Yao poured a glass of water for her. Have you dealt with it? Yes. You don't have to worry about it, Wang Yao said with a smile. The two of them kissed on the hill for a while. They didn't go down the hill until it was time for dinner. During dinner, the whole family was chatting and laughing. Wang Yao received a call from Tian Yuantu. He asked if he was free the next morning. He wanted to talk to him about something. Okay. Wang Yao agreed without hesitation. During the last few gatherings, he vaguely felt that Tian Yuantu was unwilling to say something. What's wrong? A friend is coming tomorrow. Then I'll stay here. It's okay. That night, Tong Wei stayed at Wang Yao's house. The next day, the two of them went to the medical center after lunch. Since the construction of the medical center was completed, he usually met his friends here. Tian Tuyen arrived at around 9 o'clock. Why do you still bring things? Hey, it's just some tea, Tian Yuantu said with a smile. Just tell me what you want to say. Do you have friends in Jing? Tian Yuantu asked bluntly after hesitating for a moment. Friends? I think so. What's the matter? My company has some problems. I don't have many connections in Jing. It's a bit troublesome to deal with. Then, Tian Yuantu told Wang Yao in detail about the trouble he had encountered. In fact, he wanted to borrow the power of the Guo family he knew in Jing. About this, Wang Yao was preparing to go to Jing soon. After all, his medical qualification certificate was obtained by the Su family. It was reasonable for him to go and express his gratitude. Su Xiaoshue's condition was still the same. She still needed treatment. At this time, Wang Yao had mastered Neishi therapy. It was just the right time to try it. Is it urgent? It's urgent, Tian Yuantu said. In fact, he had been unable to sleep and eat well recently. At first, he didn't want to trouble Wang Yao, causing the matter to be delayed again and again. Now, he had no choice but to turn to Wang Yao. The situation couldn't be delayed any longer. Otherwise, his previous efforts would be in vain. Well, I'll go back to Jing in a few days. I'll ask when I get there, Wang Yao said. Okay, thank you. You're too polite between friends. Wang Yao poured him a glass of water with a smile. Don't hesitate to tell me. I'll help if I can. Okay. While chatting, Tian Yuantu said, When will I attend your wedding? Tong Wei's pretty face turned red. Wang Yao was slightly stunned. Soon. When he said this, he looked at Tong Wei. Tong Wei's face was full of happiness. Haha. Tian Yuantu laughed. He could see that the two of them were a good match. Tong Wei was a good girl. I won't disturb you. I'll drive you. After seeing Tian Yuantu off, Tong Wei originally wanted to stay for a while. However, she received a call from her company in Dao. They asked her to go to Dao as soon as possible. There was something she needed to deal with. What's wrong? They want me to go back to Dao. They have something to deal with in the company. Shall I drive you back tomorrow? Okay. In the afternoon, Wang Yao drove Tong Wei home. She still had to prepare to go back to Dao the next day. In Dao, damn, how dare you lie to me? Wu Yueran was angry. Recently, he had gone to several famous big hospitals. In the end, the results of the examination in any hospital proved that there was no problem with his body. His waist was not injured at all. He understood that Wang Yao was scaring him. Wait and see. I'll teach you a lesson. The next day, Wang Yao greeted his family early in the morning. Dad, be careful when you go to the mountain. Wang Yao did not forget to remind him before he left. In the past few days, Wang Yao had discovered that the trees on the mountain grew faster as the spiritual qi on the mountain became denser. It also had another effect, which was that the magic array on the mountain was more confusing. He had already told his parents about the magic array, but he was still a little worried. Don't worry, I know what to do, Wang Yao's father said. When he saw the moving trees on the mountain for the first time, he was shocked. After seeing it many times, he did not think it was strange. However, he still felt dizzy. Chapter 356. He didn't ask much about what his son was doing on the hill. He just helped his son look after the herbal field and trees on the hill when he was out. Wang Yao and Tong Wei left early. They got on the highway around 8 a.m. After more than 3 hours of travel, they arrived in Dao. They found a place to eat first. Then, they went to Tong Wei's place to rest for a while. In the afternoon, Wang Yao drove Tong Wei to work. Don't go back today. Okay. He had planned to stay there for a day. In the company, Tong Wei's supervisor seemed to be very anxious. Oh, you're finally here, the charming woman in her 30s said as she held Tong Wei's hand. Director N, what's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? We have a new big client, the Wu Group in Hu City. They asked you to be in charge of discussing cooperation matters. Wu Group? Me? Tong Wei was stunned. Yes. Who's the person on their side? It hasn't been decided yet. They said he'll arrive tomorrow. Okay, I'll meet him then, Tong Wei said calmly. Since her relationship with Wang Yao had developed further, she didn't know why, but she didn't value her job as much as before. When she had dinner with Wang Yao that night, she told him about it. The Wu Group in Hu City? Yes. How come you know him? No, I just thought of someone. Wu Yueran. Tong Wei was also a very smart woman. After hearing Wang Yao's words, she immediately thought of the rich man who had been pestering her since they were in France. He happened to be in Hu City. Yes, it's very likely. Otherwise, why would he ask you to be in charge of the negotiation? Then I'll reject him. Don't. That would make us look petty. Let's meet him first. What if he's not? Wang Yao said with a smile. It seemed that some people understood. They were probably going to meet Tong Wei at the airport. The next day, Tong Wei met the representative of the Wu Group in the company. Hello, Miss Tong. We meet again. Wu Yueran was wearing a suit and leather shoes. He had a proud smile on his face. It's really you. Tong Wei didn't give him a good look. You know each other? Manager and asked curiously. We're not just acquaintances. Miss Tong and I are quite fated. We've been together since we were in France. Please watch your words, Mr. Wu. I've only met you and talked to you. That's all, Tong Wei said coldly. Come, let's sit down and talk. Manager and hurriedly said with a smile when he saw this. This was a big client, and the higher-ups had taken care of him. He had to think of a way to get him. It's only been a few days since we last met, and Miss Tong has become even more beautiful. It's really tempting, Wu Yuan said with a smile. This was a little too blatant. Thank you. I've been in a good mood at my boyfriend's house for the past few days, Tong Wei said. Hiss, what's going on? Manager and thought to himself. Obviously, Wu Yuan still had fantasies about Tong Wei. He wanted to create an opportunity for the two of them to be together through this collaboration. On the other hand, he wanted to show her his family's capabilities. However, the communication that followed made him a little angry. It was too cold, even colder than when he was in France. It seems that Miss Tong is not very interested in the collaboration between the two companies this time, Wu Yuan said. Mr. Wu's business ability is also questionable, Tong Wei said indifferently. What? Not only Wu Yuan, but even Manager An was stunned. What kind of attitude was this? As a result, the two parties parted on bad terms after this encounter. Tong Wei, what's wrong with you today? Manager An was very surprised by the abnormal reaction of this capable subordinate of his. In the past, she would never behave like this when she met with a difficult client. He has been pestering me since we were in France. It's very annoying. Oh, I see. Manager An roughly understood the reason for Tong Wei's abnormal reaction. However, this was a big deal for the company, and the negotiation had to continue. Otherwise, how could she explain it to the higher-ups? In the afternoon, Wang Yao waited outside Tong Wei's company early. Then, he saw the strange Mr. Wu with a bouquet of bright red roses in his hand. TSK. He's really persistent. He smiled and walked towards young Master Wu. Hello, Mr. Wu. It's you. Wu Yuan's eyes lit up when he saw Wang Yao. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Is that so? But I don't like roses. Wang Yao said with a smile. Have you recovered from your illness? I've recovered. Very well. Wu Yuan clenched his teeth and said, How dare you lie to me? I'm telling the truth. Mr. Wu, you are indeed sick, and it's quite serious. Shut the *CK up. I've gone to 6 hospitals for checkups. The results are the same. My body is very good. There is no problem at all. Wu Yuan was full of anger when he mentioned what had happened before. He thought he was smart and exquisite. He did not expect to be deceived by this seemingly kind guy in front of him. He had always deceived others. He had never thought of being deceived by others. 6 hospitals? These hospitals are not legitimate, right? They are all tertiary grade A hospitals. You liar. They made a mistake. I can tell you for sure. Wang Yao said very seriously. You sure? Just you wait. I'll torture you to death. Wu Yuan was threatening him openly. Hey, is this considered a threat? It's up to you to interpret it. Just as the two of them were talking, Tong Wei came out of the company. Tong Wei, this is for you. Wu Yuan was one step ahead of her. He then gave her a bouquet of delicate and beautiful roses. Tong Wei did not even look at him. She went directly to Wang Yao and asked softly, Have you been waiting for a long time? No, I just chatted with Mr. Wu for a while. What do you want to eat tonight? Anything is fine. The two of them left arm in arm intimately. You guys, there is a limit to a person's patience. Wu Yuan clenched his fist. He then threw the roses on the ground and stomped on them. Some people who came out of the company looked at him strangely, as if they were looking at a fool. Is this Wu Yuan's trick? Yes. After returning home, Tong Wei told Wang Yao everything that happened in the company. She did not have a good impression of Wu Yuan. Why don't I resign and go back to hike? This was the first time Tong Wei had thought of resigning because of Wang Yao. That's fine. You can think about it again. After all, it was not a good idea for the two of them to live in separate places for a long time. However, he did not want to force Tong Wei on this matter. It was still up to her. As the most economically developed coastal city in Qi province, Dao had a very rich nightlife. In a very stylish clubhouse. Mr. Wu, are you kidding? Do I look like I'm kidding? 2 points. First, this is illegal. Second, this is Dao, not Shanghai. Haha, first, you have done this kind of thing many times. That's why I came to you. Second, I came to you because we are in Dao. Can't a strong dragon suppress a local snake? Price? Easy. Okay. Is he in Dao? Yes, but as for when he will leave, I'm not sure. No problem. Wang Yao decided to stay in Dao for a few more days. He would leave after the trouble with Wu Yaoran was completely solved. Otherwise, Tong Wei would be in danger if she stayed here alone. Or should he just let him know the difficulty and back off? There were 2 ways to make him back off. The first was to use the medical skills that he had mastered to make him fall sick. It was a terrible disease. Wang Yao was already familiar with this. After all, he had just done an experiment in Lianshan County. Those people were all submissive to him. The second way was to use other forces. This happened to be Dao. He could borrow the power of Sun Jingrong. After all, Sun Jingrong was the person who could call the wind and summon the rain in Dao. Tong Wei, who was wearing a simple family outfit, asked with a smile after putting the breakfast she had prepared for Wang Yao on the table, "What are you thinking about?" "Nothing." "What are you looking at?" "Looking at a beauty." "You are so annoying." "Time to eat." After breakfast, Wang Yao sent Tong Wei to work. "Aren't you bored staying at home alone?" "Well, I think so. I've decided to go out for a walk." "Okay, I'll take the afternoon off. I'll accompany you." "Okay." He drove back from Tong Wei's company. As soon as he got out of the car, he found a few people in the neighborhood. Looking at the eyes of these people, Wang Yao knew that they most likely came for him. Chapter 357. That's good. Well, looking at Sun Jingrong's expression, he seemed to have something to say but couldn't say it. "Mr. Sun, please speak your mind." "Excuse me for asking, but Dr. Wang, do you really know internal strength?" He still remembered Wang Yao's magical treatment method at his house last time. He didn't use any medicine, acupuncture, or even massage. He relied on the things in novels and movies. No matter what, it was hard to believe when you saw it for the first time. "It's true," Wang Yao said with a smile. "Is it easy to learn?" "Learn?" Wang Yao was stunned. "Haha, it depends on your luck." "Luck?" "Yes, in my opinion, it's extremely difficult for most people to learn it, but it may be relatively easy for a small number of people to learn it." "Well, Dr. Wang, can you teach me this internal strength?" "Sorry, I don't have this idea for the time being." Hearing such a request, Wang Yao refused without hesitation. "Sorry for being presumptuous," Sun Yurong hurriedly said. The reason he inquired about this matter today was for his son and himself. Almost everyone in the country knew about this magical thing called internal strength. It could strengthen the body, remove poison, and heal injuries. 99% of people wanted to learn it. Sun Jingrong wanted his son to learn it. If possible, he also wanted to learn it himself. However, after hearing Wang Yao's direct refusal, he decided not to ask this question for a considerable period of time. After all, compared to those things, what he valued most was Wang Yao's superb medical skills. He had to maintain a good relationship with such a person. "That Mr. Wu, how are you going to deal with him?" He quickly changed the topic. "Him?" Wang Yao looked at the tea on the table. "Can he be given a heavier sentence?" "Well, I know." Sun Jingrong had a rough idea in his heart. Sure enough, he was not a person who repaid evil with good. The hired person hurt someone, but the person didn't hurt the person. The hired person was injured. This was equivalent to not getting the job done, but the money was spent. LV Kai wanted to cry. Wu Yueran also wanted to cry. Before crying, he was very rational and called his father. Things took a turn for the better. The Wu family in Hu City? Sun Jingrong took a sip of tea. Things are getting a little troublesome. He looked out the window. What was a businessman after? Profit. No matter what a politician was after, it was still for profit. The Wu family in Huqing had both money and power. Although they were not located in Qi province, they could achieve their goals by exchanging benefits with the local dignitaries. After all, Huqing was not an ordinary place. Hence, LV Kai changed his statement and took responsibility for everything. Wu Yueran was innocent. This matter was too childish. No one would believe it, not to mention Sun Jingrong. What's going on? He directly made an appointment with one of the leaders. The higher-ups have made arrangements. Above? Yes. Is there pressure? Of course. From Huqing? They were all smart people and could understand everything with just 1 or 2 sentences. At this point, Sun Jingrong didn't say much. He only said 1 sentence. He has to serve his sentence. His tone was very calm. If Wu Yueran was released just like that, where would the fairness be? Where would the justice be? Most importantly, where would his face be? In Dao, Sun Jingrong had always been a man of his word. Even the tycoons had to consider his opinions, let alone an outsider. I see. After a moment of silence, the leader replied. He knew Sun Jingrong's character. This was Dao. At this time, Wang Yao didn't know about these things at all. He was watching the waves surging and rushing at the seaside. There was no background music. He didn't feel any kind of great power from the rise and fall of the wave. He just felt something, an indescribable feeling. Therefore, he stood at the seaside for the whole morning, staring at the sea and watching the wave. He didn't come back to his senses until Tong Wei called him. Oh, sorry. I'll pick you up right away. In the afternoon, he went to the seaside again. This time, he went to a more secluded place. However, he didn't feel anything this time. Sure enough, it was something that could only be encountered by chance. He went from the seaside to Sun Jingrong's home. He had discussed with Sun Jingrong in advance that he would continue to treat Sun Yunxing. When he saw Sun Yunxing again, Sun Yunxing's complexion was obviously much better than the last time he saw him. How do you feel? Wang Yao asked. Much better. Thank you, Sun Yunxing said. Since the last time Wang Yao treated him in a special way, the most obvious feeling he had now was that his body was much more relaxed. He no longer felt as uncomfortable as before, as if his body was being roasted in a fire. It was a kind of double torture, both physically and mentally. Let me take a look at you. After a round of examination, the yang toxins in Sun Yunxing's body had been reduced a lot. Then, Wang Yao continued to use his own unique treatment method. He transferred the yang toxins in Sun Yunxing's body into his own body through Neishi. Then, he used it to wear it out. The treatment didn't stop until Sun Yunxing's body couldn't bear it anymore. It was comfortable. The treatment process was somewhat painful, but the body was very comfortable after the treatment. It felt like spring had come and he had taken off his heavy cotton-padded clothes and trousers. Comfort and pain were all taken away. Will he have any problems with this treatment method? This treatment will end here. Thank you. Wang Yao thanked him from the bottom of his heart. In order to express his gratitude, Sun Jingrong invited Wang Yao to have dinner there. At the same time, he also invited Tong Wei, but she refused. It was good to have dinner there, but the atmosphere was still a little bad. In comparison, he preferred to have a candlelight dinner with Tong Wei. What? Is he going to be sentenced? Wu Yueran, who was temporarily detained, was dumbfounded. Wasn't the matter solved? Why was he still locked up here? He didn't know what was going on outside, but he still tried to communicate with the people outside. Whose city? It was the most economically developed city in China. The most famous thing here was perhaps not the bund, but the surprising holidays. In a villa by the sea, a middle-aged man in his 40s was well maintained. What? After receiving the phone call, he frowned slightly. Didn't we already have an agreement? Okay, I got it. The middle-aged man hung up the phone and looked at the night outside. The bustling night scene in whose city was second to none in the country. Dao? He didn't care about the city at all in the past. Troublesome. Now it had become his problem. He had no choice but to go to Dao. I'll go back tomorrow. I'll go back with you, Tong Wei said with a smile. She had nothing to do in Dao. At this time, the two of them were in love. She felt that it was not appropriate for her to stay in Dao. What about your company? It's okay. We have paid holidays here every year. These foreign companies had sufficient holidays every year. Tong Wei's view of work had also changed. She could find another job. If she missed the right person, she would miss it forever. The next day, she directly asked for leave from work and rushed back to Lianshan County with Wang Yao. As soon as they left, someone came directly from Hu City to Dao. Someone wants to see me? Sun Jingrong was slightly startled. The identity of the person who wanted to see him was a bit special. He was an official of the government. To be precise, he was a representative of a big boss. What's the matter? Secretary Chiu hopes that you can compromise on this matter. Why? Mr. Wu's father has already come. He has decided to invest in the construction of an electronic equipment processing factory in Dao. Okay. Sun Jingrong nodded with a smile. Good, very good. At this moment, he actually felt a little helpless. The situation in China was like this. You had money and I had power. What should I do? He understood everything. Fight for his dignity? The consequences could be very serious. Secretary Chiu said that people who make mistakes will be punished. 1 month of detention, the middle-aged man said. Okay. Sun Jingrong had to take a step back. He was in Dao. He couldn't fall out with the number one person in Dao. If that was really the case, his life would not be easy. Dad, why are you here? Wu Yueran didn't expect his father to come to Dao in person. If I didn't come, you would be in trouble, the middle-aged man said calmly. We'll talk after you come out. How long do you have to stay? 1 month. Chapter 358. What? He has to stay for another month? Wu Yueran was not happy to hear the news. His father had come, but these people did not give him face. After a short anger, he calmed down. This was Dao. A strong dragon could not suppress a local snake. He was clear about this. He was the son of a rich family, but he was not an ignorant and incompetent playboy. I know, Dad. I was wrong this time. Come out and talk. The middle-aged man just said a few words to his son and left. He had seen many such things. It was not a big deal for his son to suffer a little as long as he was not hurt. As for revenge, it was a matter for the future. He did not even know the cause and effect now. Naturally, he had to wait. In the mountain village, is Dr. Wang in? He has gone out, Zhang Xiuying said helplessly. This was the 4th person in the past few days. When will he come back? I don't know. What's his mobile phone number? I'm sorry. How could she tell others her son's mobile phone number so easily? In the past few days, she and Wang Fenghua were a little surprised. When did her son become so famous? These people came from outside to see him. They came because of his reputation. Looking at the situation, there would only be more people in the future. The clinic was still quiet with the door locked. Hey, why hasn't he come back yet? Chen Chongfeng sighed. Since the last time she received treatment from Wang Yao, his mother's illness had improved a lot. Now, she could sleep at night and eat during the day. Her body looked much better, which made him very happy. So, he wanted to come to see her again. However, he had come twice. Dr. Wang locked the door and did not see anyone. When will he come back? I don't know. Hey, I came all the way here, but I didn't see him. Chen Chongfeng was not the only one waiting there. There were 4 or 5 people waiting. Hello, Mom. What? Many people want to see me? When he picked up the phone, Wang Yao was still in the car. Originally, Zhang Xiuying didn't plan to make this call. She didn't want to disturb her son and daughter-in-law's life, but there seemed to be more and more people. She had no choice but to make this call. I got it. I'm on my way back. I'll probably be back by noon. If they want to wait, then let them wait. All right. Therefore, a few cars were parked by the roadside outside the clinic. Some people got out of the car and looked around. Hiss, what's going on? The villagers were all stunned. Are they all here for Yao? Did something happen at home? Tong Wei asked with concern in the car. It's nothing. Someone wants to see me. Let them wait. He had already covered more than half of the road. In the car, the melodious music made people feel comfortable. Are you going to be a doctor? Not a doctor, but a pharmacist, Wang Yao said. What's the difference between the two? Well, to put it simply, most doctors can see patients but can't make medicine. A pharmacist can see patients and make medicine. A great pharmacist is good at treating all kinds of diseases, Wang Yao said. So good. Yes, not me. What's your level now? Now? Wang Yao looked at the road ahead. It can only be considered a beginner. A beginner? Tong Wei was surprised. During this period of time, she and Wang Yao had been together for a long time. She also met some people. From the attitude of these people towards Wang Yao, she could see that Wang Yao's medical skills must be very good. Otherwise, people like Sun Jingrong would not be so polite to a young man. You are quite modest. Really? With the passage of time and a deeper understanding of the system, Wang Yao knew that he still had a lot to learn. He was really just a beginner. However, it was impossible to be good at treating all kinds of diseases in the short term. The road ahead was still very long. After returning to Lianshan County, Wang Yao did not send Tong Wei home. Instead, he went straight to his home. The people waiting outside the clinic were already impatient. If it were somewhere else, they would have been scolding. Dr. Wang, you are finally back. The others did not know Wang Yao, but Chen Chongfeng knew him. Hello, Mr. Chen. Sorry to have kept everyone waiting for so long. Wang Yao smiled at the crowd. It's good that you are back. Yes, it's a long trip. Wang Yao opened the door and began to treat the patient. Well, you are recovering well. I'll prescribe another medicine. Continue to take it for a course of treatment to consolidate the effect of the treatment. Wang Yao prescribed another medicine for Chen Chongfeng's mother. This medicine is different from the previous one. One was tens of thousands of yuan, while the other was only a few hundred yuan. The difference was too big. Yes, the previous medicine was good, but it was difficult to decoct. This time, you can decoct the medicine yourself. It is also effective. Okay, thank you. After Chen Chongfeng left, the remaining people were all first-timers. They were all people from nearby counties. Headache? Yes, I feel dizzy and uncomfortable when I sleep. This was a man in his 30s who looked a little haggard. Recently, have you been used to washing your hair at night and going to bed when your hair is not dry? Yes, what's wrong? There is nothing wrong with your body. You just need to change this habit. Really? The man was stunned. He had also seen the old Chinese medicine doctor in his hometown. He had also prescribed medicine, but the effect was not very good after taking it. Yes, you have stopped using Chinese medicine now. Okay, thank you. Take care. The second person was an old man in his 50s. He also had a headache. You have a cold in your brain. Ah! Let me treat you. Wang Yao used his neishi to treat the old man with massage technique. The old man only felt that his head was warm and very comfortable. He had a feeling of wanting to sleep. About 10 minutes later, the treatment was finished. I will prescribe more medicine for you. Pay attention to it in your daily life. Avoid your head catching a cold when you sleep. Wang Yao had to write the prescription, fill the prescription, and package the medicine. These tasks all needed to be done by himself. Thank you. Okay, take care. The third person also had a headache. She was an old woman in her 70s. Her daughter came with her. What? Wang Yao was shocked when he tried it. Haven't you been to a regular hospital for a checkup? No. How can this be? You should go to a regular hospital for a checkup. What's wrong with my mother? The woman knew there was a problem when she heard this. Go to the hospital. Wang Yao just said so. Thank you. Take care. Wang Yao watched them leave. The cause of her headache was not in her head, but in her abdomen. There was a tumor in the old woman's abdomen, and it was already in the late stage. He sighed slightly and continued to see the next patient. You have pneumonia caused by a cold. What should I do? You can go to the hospital or the outpatient clinic for an injection, Wang Yao said with a smile. Why did this kind of illness come to his place? Ah, thank you. I just heard about it, so I came to see you, the sick middle-aged man said with a smile. Don't worry about it. Wang Yao waved his hand with a smile. He didn't know what to say to these people. Tong Wei was next to him. She made tea for him and helped him pack the medicine. Seeing Wang Yao treat patients one by one, she felt that this man had a unique charm. Just like that, it was past 4 o'clock in the afternoon when all the patients were diagnosed. Wang Yao got up and moved his body to loosen his muscles and bones. How do you feel? He asked Tong Wei. Well, pretty good. Tong Wei smiled and said, When are you going to teach me your skills? Anytime. I'm waiting for you to say that. Tong Wei smiled and fed him a grape. Chinese medicine, no, pharmacist, what do I need to learn? Medical theory, pharmacy, human meridians, yin and yang, 5 elements, stop. Tong Wei smiled and stopped. How long did it take you to learn these? Well, less than a year. Wang Yao thought carefully. Less than a year? How is that possible? Tong Wei was shocked. Are you lying to me? Haha, my skills are taught by God. Wang Yao pointed to the top of his head with a smile. You're bragging. When the two of them were about to go home for dinner, they heard people in the village talking about it. Hey, so many people went to Feng Hua's son's house for what? I heard that they are going to see a doctor. See a doctor? When did Yao become a doctor? Who knows? This matter couldn't be covered up or hidden. Fortunately, it was neither too early nor too late. The timing was just right. Yao? Uncle. You know how to see a doctor? Ha, I know a little. If I feel uncomfortable, can you take a look? No problem, Wang Yao said with a smile. When he returned home, his mother had already prepared dinner. Come, Tong Wei, hurry up. You must be tired today. I'm fine, Tong Wei replied with a smile. Everyone in the village knows that you know how to see a doctor, right? Well, it's fine if they know. It can't be hidden forever, Wang Yao said. After dinner, Tong Wei didn't stay because her mother suddenly felt unwell. She was in a hurry to go home. Wang Yao also went home. After arriving at her house, Wang Yao immediately treated her mother. Auntie, did you eat seafood tonight? Yes, I had some big prawns. There is something wrong with the prawns. Wang Yao gave her a simple treatment and then took out a 9 herbs pill. Although the pill couldn't detoxify her mother's body immediately, it was very useful for her recovery. After the treatment, Tong Wei's mother felt much better. However, her family was still worried, so they sent her back to the hospital to observe her condition. That night, Wang Yao didn't go back home. He stayed at Tong Wei's house for the night. Chapter 359. Tong Wei's mother's condition was very stable. In other words, she was recovering very well. After sleeping in the hospital for a night, she looked much better the next day. Wang Yao went to the hospital again to check on her. She's fine. She can be discharged. Okay. When he and Tong Wei walked out, they saw a doctor rushing into the elevator. He frowned slightly. What's wrong? That doctor is not in good health, Wang Yao said. Not in good health? Yes. He looked at his face and heard his voice. He was already a little breathless. Most importantly, he had a heart problem. Since he was in such a hurry, it was very likely that something had happened to the patient he was in charge of. His life may be in danger. Huh! Tong Wei was stunned. Then, tell him quickly. Okay. Wang Yao happened to see his name on the man's work permit. Then, he found him at the reception desk of the hospital. There were 3 or 4 doctors in the office. Wang Yao directly told the doctor the purpose of his visit. What? Not in good health? His life is in danger and he needs to rest? The doctor was stunned. Facing 2 people who suddenly came to his office and said that he was not in good health, he was angry and amused at the same time. All the doctors in the room looked at the couple with strange eyes. Speaking of which, the woman was really beautiful. Are you kidding? I'm a doctor. He did not take it to heart at all. He just thought that the 2 people's brains short-circuited. I think you should do a checkup. The focus is on your heart. Thank you. I'm going to perform an operation soon. The patient is waiting. Take care, the doctor said. If you perform the operation like this, you may harm others and yourself. Wang Yao was telling the truth. If the doctor had a hidden health problem and needed to be highly focused during the operation, it was very likely that some of his diseases would flare up very easily. If he flare up at this time, it was very likely that there was a mistake in the operation. It could really endanger the patient's health. Wang Yao meant well. Hey, you're too nosy. Unexpectedly, the doctor was unhappy. All right, I don't have time to talk to you. Wang Yao knew that this person might not be willing to listen to him. Think about it carefully. I suggest you do a heart check. He left with Tong Wei after saying that. Why doesn't he listen to my advice? Tong Wei said angrily. If it were me and someone suddenly told me that I was sick, I wouldn't believe it either. Wang Yao laughed. This is human nature. But he will be in danger if he doesn't listen to our advice and goes for the operation. As long as you did your best. I can't knock him out and prevent him from performing the surgery, right? Wang Yao said with a smile. Then how likely is it for that person to have a problem? Very high. As he continued to see patients, Wang Yao became more and more proficient in the use of the observation method. Just by looking at the appearance and the human body's behavior, he could determine some diseases. The doctor's hidden disease was extremely easy to act up when he was highly stressed, and this surgery happened to meet this condition. Then, let's go. We'll do our best and leave the rest to fate, Wang Yao said calmly. After they left, the doctor's office became lively. Hey, I say, do you know these 2 people? I don't know them. God knows where these 2 crazy people came from. I think that woman is very beautiful. Why don't you go and check it out? What's there to check? The surgery is about to start. There are 2 more in the afternoon. In fact, the doctors in the hospital had regular checkups, especially the doctors. If there was a problem with the body, they would have discovered it long ago. This was also the reason why the doctor did not take Wang Yao's warning seriously at all. Wang Yao and Tong Wei left the hospital and went to her home. Tong Wei's mother was busy in the kitchen. Mom, didn't I tell you to rest? Go back to your room and rest. I'm fine. Tong Wei's mother smiled. She felt that her body was very light and felt more comfortable after moving around. Thanks to you, Xiao Wang, Tong Wei's father said. It's my pleasure. Tong Wei helped her mother cook in the kitchen. Wang Yao was talking to Tong Wei's father in the living room. When it was time to eat, Tong Wei's brother, Tong Yi, also came. The family ate together. They talked and laughed and listened to the lively atmosphere. In the afternoon, Wang Yao was about to drive home when he received a call from Pan Jun. Hello, what's the matter? You found a doctor in our hospital this morning and said he was sick. You stopped him from performing the surgery? Yes, what's wrong? It's really you? Pan Jun on the other end of the phone was very surprised. The doctor had a heart attack. He couldn't be saved. Where's the patient? The surgery just started. Other doctors took over. The surgery was done, but there are still some problems. It's in the observation stage. He can be transferred to another hospital at any time, Pan Jun said. Okay. Wang Yao did not say anything. How did you see through it? You're amazing! Pan Jun exclaimed in admiration. The news had spread in the county hospital. The news first spread from the doctor's office. When Wang Yao went to the doctor's office, he was treated as a lunatic and a fool. Now it seemed that the doctor really knew something was wrong. He kindly came to warn Wang Yao, but Wang Yao did not listen at all. Then, there was a problem. Wang Yao was gone. Hey, how do you think he knew? Guessing? I don't think so. It's just guessing on the street. Have you seen anyone go to the hospital and find someone to trick them? The other party did not say anything at all. He just left if he didn't believe it. Could it be that he was a fortune teller? That's possible. What's his name? The doctors looked at each other. Of course, no one knew. They did not ask because they thought the other party was a fool. Who would ask the name of a fool? What a pity! This kind of news spread very quickly. Pan Jun also knew. He immediately thought of Wang Yao. He did not know why. I'll treat you to a meal when you're free. Okay. Pan Jun was very curious about how Wang Yao could tell. He had been to that department in person. He heard that Wang Yao only looked at the patient and did not make any specific diagnosis. Wang Yao could tell that the patient had a heart problem, and the problem was quite serious. That was why he stopped the patient from continuing the operation. There was more than one person in the hospital who inquired about Wang Yao. Most of them were just curious. They talked about it before and after meals. This kind of thing would gradually fade away. People would also forget about it. It was already past 7 o'clock in the evening when Wang Yao arrived home. When he got home, he found that there was a guest at home. It was a man of the generation of his uncle. He was chatting with his father at home. He knew the man at most, but he was not familiar with him. Uncle. Hey, Yao is back. Wang Yao washed his face. When he came out, the man had already left. Dad, what's the matter? Nothing, just chatting. I heard that you know how to treat patients, so I came to ask, Wang Fenghua said. Well, he would probably be busy in the future. Wang Yao was mentally prepared for this. Is Tong Wei's mother okay? She's fine. It's not a big problem. She'll be fine after resting for 2 days. That's good. That's good. After chatting with his parents for a while and letting them relax, Wang Yao went out and prepared to go up the hill. It was autumn. The weather outside was cool. It was even colder at night. There were still many people outside. Some people were even playing poker. Yao. On the way, Wang Yao was stopped by a person. It was Wang Fengming, who had been very good to him. Uncle, what's the matter? Wang Yao respected this honest and kind man from the bottom of his heart. Whether it was the first time Nanshan Hill caught fire or the last time the house caught fire, Wang Yao had helped him sincerely. Wang Yao remembered this kindness in his heart. The news that you know how to treat patients seems to have spread. Many people in the village know and are asking about it. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. Well, it's good that you know in your heart. You know the people in our village. Yes, I know. Thank you. He understood Wang Fengming's words and kindness. Some people were generous, some people were calculative, some people were kind, and some people had evil intentions. This was society. There was no other way. Now, when the people in the village mentioned Wang Yao, there were people who were counting their thumbs up and saying bad things about him. However, there was absolutely no one who dared to cause trouble. No one. On the way up the hill, Wang Yao read Sang Yao medical book for a while. After that, he turned off the lights and went to sleep. The next day, when he opened his system panel to check something, he unexpectedly found that there was a change in a task. There were already 2 people who had cured a difficult-to-treat disease. Was it Yang Haichuan's mother or Zhou Wukong? He called to ask and asked them to make time to come over. As a result, they both came in the morning. He saw both of them and confirmed that it was the old man. "Your body has completely recovered," he said with a smile. "Really?" The old man was pleasantly surprised. In fact, she had been feeling that her body was very good recently. She didn't have any illness anymore. When she heard this from Wang Yao, she was completely relieved. "Kang's illness is almost cured," Wang Yao said. He was almost certain that Zhou Wukong would be able to recover after another round of treatment. He didn't need the blood deblinking powder. He only needed the neishi. "That's great." Zhou Xiong almost cried with joy after hearing that. That afternoon, Wang Yao finally treated Zhou Wukong. "If there's nothing else, I'll see you in 3 days." "Okay, we'll come back in 3 days. The father and son didn't disturb him too much. They then left. "Actually, if I can, it's not bad to open a massage shop," Wang Yao said to himself with a smile. Chapter 360. He was getting more and more proficient in using neishi for treatment. With this method alone, he could treat a considerable number of patients. No injections, no medicine, just a massage. This was the evaluation of several old people who had received treatment from his clinic. It was indeed amazing that a massage could cure a headache. When this reputation gradually spread, there would be a lot of people coming to his clinic. "I have to go to Jing," Wang Yao thought to himself. He had just received a call from Chen Buiyuan. Although he didn't say it explicitly, his intention had been revealed. Chen Buiyuan asked when he could go to Jing to continue treating Su Xiaoxue. When he returned home at noon, he told his parents about this matter. "Are you going to Jing again?" "Yes, I guess I'll have to stay there for a while," Wang Yao said. He had already thought about it. This time, he would go to Jing to make Su Xiaoxue's condition fundamentally better. He could reluctantly make half a dose of muscle revitalization powder because he had thought of ways to exchange for these 2 herbs some time ago. However, the quantity was not enough. He could only make half a dose. "Do you still want to see that patient?" "Yes." "What about Tong Wei?" "She will go back to Dao." "Okay." In the afternoon, Tian Yuan-tu came from Lianshan. When he found that Wang Yao was not in the clinic, he went straight to Nanshan Hill. "Thank you." This was the first sentence he said after seeing him. "Well, what are you thanking me for?" The sudden gratitude made Wang Yao stunned. "The matter in Jing has been solved." "So fast?" "Yes." Tian Yuan-tu sighed. This matter was indeed very difficult for them. It was not a matter of spending money. It was just that they had no way to spend money. "It's good that it has been solved." Wang Yao called Chen Buiyuan to ask about this matter. At that time, Chen Buiyuan only replied that it would be solved as soon as possible. He didn't expect it to be solved so quickly. "How do you think I should express my gratitude?" "Thank you, but there's no need. I'll handle the matter over there. I'll go to Jing in a few days." "Let's go to the capital." "I'll go with you. I happen to have something to do too." "Sure," Wang Yao replied. "I'll contact you then." "All right." Tian Yuan-tu stayed on the mountain for a while and chatted with Wang Yao for a while. Now that the matter was resolved, he felt relaxed. Wang Yao could clearly feel the changes in him. Being in a good mood was an important factor in one's health. A person who frowned all day would fall sick after a long time. Only with a healthy physique and a healthy mind could one be healthy physically. "Sigh, now that I've put down the things I've been worrying about, I feel much more relaxed." Only when you're in a good mood can you be in good health. Only when you're in good health can you be busy with your career, Wang Yao said after taking a sip of tea. Yeah, these days I've been thinking about these things too. Once the company is listed, I'll hand over the things in my hands. Hand over? To whom? I've hired a management team. I'll leave the management of the company to them. I'll take a break too. Really? Wang Yao was a little surprised. In fact, this kind of thing was not uncommon. Many big companies had special management teams. However, in a small county like Lianshan County, doing such a thing was considered an avant-garde move. Yes, you've advised me before. I've decided to go out with Jiahui after this period of time. We'll go around the country and abroad with the child. Sure. Wang Yao replied with a smile. Tian Yuantu stayed on the mountain for a long time. He talked a lot with Wang Yao. It was as if he had found a listener. These words might have been suppressed for a long time. He was very happy to have such a person who was willing to listen to him. After speaking, his mood became much better. Are you free tomorrow? Let's get together? Tomorrow. Wang Yao looked up at the sky. In the afternoon. I have something to do in the morning. Okay. The two of them went down the mountain together. It was almost time for dinner. After going down the mountain, outside the clinic, he saw a young man. He was very unfamiliar. The man was 1.8 meters tall. He was strong and muscular. After walking up to him, Wang Yao saw the problem at a glance. See a doctor? Hello, are you Dr. Wang? The young man asked in a muffled voice. Yes, are you seeing a doctor? Yes. How do you know me? Ah. The young man was stunned. Why do you see a doctor if you're not sick? Who sent you here? Tian Yuantu, who was about to leave, stopped when he heard this. He squinted and looked at the young man. How do you know I'm not sick? What do you think? Wang Yao replied with a smile. It's really interesting. There are actually people who don't open their eyes coming here. Who sent them this time? Well, I'm leaving. After saying this, the strong man turned around and left. Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu were stunned. What's going on? People would start a fight without saying anything. This 1.8-meter-tall man just left without saying anything. They both had different personalities. Don't worry. I haven't finished talking. Wang Yao reached out and put his hand on the man's shoulder. The man felt that he could no longer walk. It was as if there was a mountain on his shoulder. His whole body half knelt on the ground. What? Tian Yuantu was stunned. Sure enough, he knew Kung Fu. His Kung Fu was not ordinary. At this time, Wang Yao just put one hand on the man's shoulder. He didn't seem to use much force, but the man suddenly knelt on the ground. His whole body was trembling. His two arms wanted to move but couldn't. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't have believed that such a magical thing could happen. Tell me, who are you? I'm here to see a doctor. The man was very nervous at this time. He felt that the hand on his shoulder was frighteningly hot, like a soldering iron. He wanted to move, but he couldn't. His whole body's strength seemed to be locked by something. What's going on? Is it Kung Fu or witchcraft? Okay. Wang Yao suddenly let go and quickly patted the man's abdomen a few times. Think it through and come again. Do you have time? Wang Yao looked up at the sky. Tomorrow in the middle of the day. After that, Wang Yao and Tian Yuantu left. How did you do it just now? Tian Yuantu asked curiously. What do you mean? I just put my hand on his shoulder, and then his whole body knelt on the ground. Well, Kung Fu. My hand has the strength of 500 kilograms, Wang Yao said with a smile. Really? Ha! Wang Yao smiled but didn't say anything. Let's go. Slow down. Wang Yao watched Tian Yuantu and Tian Yuantu leave. The brawny man also left on his motorcycle. At the entrance of the village, Tian Yuantu was still a little worried. He stopped the car by the roadside and saw the brawny man who had tried to cause trouble come out of the village on his motorcycle. Damn, I can't do it. I actually met a tough guy. The brawny man was swearing on the motorcycle. He was paid to come and cause trouble, but he didn't expect that the other party was a person who knew kung fu. He was suppressed by the other party with just one hand. This was not something he could do. He went back and returned the money to the man. Although he was a brawny man, he was not that courageous. He suddenly felt very uncomfortable in his stomach. Hiss, what's going on? He stopped the motorcycle. Then, he felt something rush up from his stomach, and it quickly reached his throat. He vomited directly. He vomited wildly on the side of the bridge. What's going on? Tian Yuantu, who was on the other side of the bridge, was also stunned. He vaguely saw Wang Yao pat the brawny man in the village. Was it because of that pat that the brawny man kept vomiting? He watched quietly on the motorcycle. After 10 minutes, the brawny man almost knelt on the ground. He vomited out everything in his stomach, including the stomach acid. What's going on? The brawny man was a little scared. He had never vomited so badly since he could remember. He didn't vomit so badly even when he drank half a liter of white wine and 12 bottles of beer because of his anger. He felt that if he continued to vomit, his stomach and intestines would be vomited out. Could it be because of the man just now? Feeling that his stomach was a little better, he hurriedly rode the motorcycle and prepared to go to the clinic to have a look. Tian Yuantu followed him. Along the way, he saw the brawny man either vomiting on the side of the road or running into the fields or wood. It took him a while to come out. It was serious diarrhea. If it goes on like this, no matter how strong his body is, he can't stand it. His body couldn't stand it, so he naturally didn't have the energy to trouble Wang Yao. Then, he left with peace of mind. The brawny man was really stupid. He first went to the hospital in town, but it couldn't be treated at all. Then, he went to the hospital in the county, but there was no way. The key point was that there was no cause at all. He was so stupid that he felt like dying when he returned home. He finally managed to hold on until dawn. Then, he took a taxi and went straight to the villa. He finally understood what Wang Yao meant when he said those words before he left. His current state was definitely caused by Wang Yao. Early in the morning, before 7 o'clock, there was a 1.8-meter tall man outside the clinic. However, this man's complexion was sallow and he had dark circles under his eyes. Obviously, he did not have a good rest last night. Why hasn't he come yet? He had been waiting outside since dawn, but Wang Yao didn't come at all. At this time, Wang Yao was practicing on Nanshan Hill. The qi around his body was communicating with heaven and earth. The wind was blowing. The withered and yellow leaves were swaying. Some leaves were falling. Some insects were jumping among the weed. Some of these things could be seen and some could be heard. Wang Yao didn't look or listen. He was relying on his feelings. At this time, he could feel all kinds of subtle things within a few meters of his body, such as the sand and stones on the ground and the breeze in the air. It was a feeling that couldn't be described in detail. It was as if he had another pair of magical eyes looking at this side of the world. He could not only see but also communicate with this side of the world. Chapter 361. The wind blew. He waved his hand. As expected, a gust of wind blew, rustling the leaves a few meters away. At the foot of the mountain, the young man was shaking and sweating all over. He couldn't stand it anymore. Where did he go? He regretted it. He was annoyed. He prayed. He wanted to curse someone. I can't stand it anymore. He hurriedly ran to the side of the field and found a corner. After a while, he came out with a stick. It was only a night of torture. He even had difficulty walking. He only felt that his legs were weak, his body was weak, and his head was dizzy. When he came, he took a taxi. "Young man, what's wrong with you?" An old man in the village asked kindly when he saw the young man who couldn't stand properly. Sir, I'm waiting for someone. Waiting for someone? Who are you waiting for? That Dr. Wang here. He pointed at the closed door of the clinic behind him. Waiting for him? He may be on the mountain, the old man said with a smile. They were all from the same village. They also knew some of the habits of the young man. He liked to plant trees and herbs on the mountain. He didn't go out on weekdays. They couldn't see him on the street. On the mountain? That mountain? The young man was stunned. It can't be like this. I can't even hold it. When I move a little, I feel that something is going to gush out. It's worse than a woman having sex. I might even shit my crotch. It's definitely impossible to stop the coconut wind. Well, you can't see it from here. It will take about half an hour to walk there. He may not be on the mountain. Young man, don't you have his phone number? No. Oh, then you can wait here. He may be here in a while. After saying that, the old man went up the mountain with his hands behind his back. What if he can't come? The strong man thought with a sad face. On the mountain, after Wang Yao finished practicing, he had a simple breakfast. Then, he prepared to decoct the medicine. Ancient spring water, multifunctional pot for herbs, and all kinds of herbs. He was going to decoct the muscle revitalization powder. However, the two important herbs, lingshanji and everlasting grass, were not enough. Therefore, he reduced the amount of various herbs and only prepared to decoct half of the medicine. Red petrolatum, huangdan powder, chuan fritillary. He added herbs one by one into the pot. It was simmering. He was neither too fast nor too slow. Brewing medicine was a meticulous job. The cool mountain breeze blew in through the window. The medicinal fragrance permeated the entire room. It was not pungent and had a unique fragrance. Outside the house, the dog was resting in its kennel with its eyes closed. At the foot of the mountain, the young man had already paid his respects to all the immortals. Please be merciful and show yourself. He really couldn't take it anymore. He was bleeding. On the mountain, Wang Yao only finished decocting half of the medicine when it was close to noon. The medicine was emerald green and looked like a paste. It was like a melted jade and looked very beautiful. Success. After packing the medicine, Wang Yao went down the mountain. He saw the young man who was helplessly pacing around outside the clinic. It's him? Only then did Wang Yao remember that he seemed to have said something yesterday. Dr. Wang, I was wrong. The man rushed to Wang Yao and knelt on the ground. Get up quickly. What are you doing? Wang Yao said. The man was crying. His tears were falling down. He didn't really want to kneel. His body was out of control. He had diarrhea and vomited. His legs were weak, and he couldn't stand steadily. Can you cure me? He knew that his sudden vomiting and diarrhea must have something to do with the young man in front of him. He didn't want to feel the feeling of living a life worse than death for a moment. I'll tell you everything. Yang Ming? An unexpected person. Him? Wang Yao frowned slightly. Yes, it's him. The young man regretted it so much that his intestines turned green. He really shouldn't have bothered this person for the sake of $1,800. He had suffered so much. The mental and physical damage was not something that could be made up for with such a small amount of money. He had to go back and find this person and ask for the compensation for his losses. Okay, you can go. Hey. The man struggled to get up. Please do me a favor and cure me? Okay, there won't be a next time. I won't dare to do it again. The 1.8-meter-tall man hurriedly promised. There was no next time. He wouldn't come here even if he wanted to die. Stand still. Wang Yao gently pushed the man's abdomen a few times and rubbed it. It's done. It's done. Yes, go back and rest for 2 days. Oh, thank you. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. The man walked with difficulty. He made a phone call as he walked. He had to call a taxi back and go to the hospital to have a checkup. Yang Ming. Wang Yao looked into the distance. He was a little worried about his classmate. If he didn't punish him, he might take a mile after taking an inch. If he punished him, he had to be considerate. After all, they had been classmates for many years. I'll remember this time. He finally made such a decision. What? Go to Jing? When Wang Yao was talking to Tong Wei on the phone in the afternoon, he told her about the matter. She was a little surprised on the other end of the phone. Yes, I'm going to see a patient. Are you interested in going to Jing with me? How long are you going to stay there? The preliminary estimate is about a week. Tong Wei was looking at the calendar at home. I'm afraid I can't. I have to go back to the company in 2 days. She was a little disappointed. In fact, she really wanted to go to Jing with Wang Yao. I'll go alone. I'll send you back to Dao in 2 days. Then I'll take a plane from Dao to Jing. Okay. After that, Wang Yao went home for lunch. On the way, he met an elder in the village. It was the man that the man had met outside the clinic. Uncle? Yao, did someone look for you in the morning? He was quite tall and didn't look very good. Yes, what's wrong? Oh, he asked me about your family. I didn't say anything. He didn't look like a good person, the man said. It's okay. He has already left. Thank you. Okay. Hey, uncle. Wang Yao stopped the man. What's wrong? Your leg doesn't feel very good. He pointed to the old man's right leg. When he saw the old man walking, his right leg was slightly unnatural. He was a little lame. Well, I don't know what's wrong, but the soles of my feet hurt when I walk these days. It's like being pricked by needles. If you have time in the afternoon, come to my place. I'll take a look at you. Okay. The man in his 40s or 50s didn't take it seriously. After returning home for lunch, Wang Yao talked to his parents for a while and went out. He went into the clinic and rested for a while. He took out a medical book and started to read. Time passed slowly. It was already past 4 p.m. before he knew it. Wang Yao looked at the clock on the wall. He didn't come? On the hill, a man in his 40s was herding sheep. He grimaced when he walked a few steps. He seemed to be very uncomfortable. Hey, it's getting worse and worse. He finally drove the sheep down the hill with a lame leg. He was about to go home to rest. When he walked to the door of Wang Yao's clinic, he suddenly thought of what Wang Yao had said in the morning. Should I go in and let him have a look? He had also heard from the villagers that this young man not only knew how to plant herbs on the mountain, but also knew how to treat illnesses. People outside drove to see him, but no one in the village had ever come to see him. Why? They still didn't believe it. How could a student who studied biology know how to see patients? If he was really so good, why didn't he work in the hospital? Why did he stay in this small mountain village? This matter had been discussed in the village for a while. I should go and have a look. He walked a few more steps. The soles of his feet were still very painful. He tied the leading sheep to a tree and left the rest of the sheep. He pushed the door open and went into the clinic. Is Yao in? Yes, uncle. You are here. Wang Yao heard the call and walked out of the house with a smile. He didn't have anything else to do in the afternoon. He didn't make any appointments. He just waited for the man in front of him. Come in and have a seat. You've found a good place. The middle-aged man looked at the yard and the house and praised. This was the first time he had come to Wang Yao's small yard. He saw that it was so exquisite, so he looked at it more. It's okay. Please come in and have a seat. There was a cup of tea, a plate of grapes, and a plate of fried chestnuts. Uncle, please have some tea. Okay. Thank you. The middle-aged man sat down. The tea was very fragrant. He didn't know much about tea, but he knew the tea was definitely good and not cheap. I grew the grapes myself. Please have a taste. Ah, well, it's delicious. Wang Yao was also anxious to see him. Yao, can you take a look at me first? What's wrong with my leg? You haven't been to the hospital these days. No. At first, the pain wasn't that bad, so I didn't take it seriously. It's not like you don't know that if you go to the hospital now, you have to do all kinds of examinations. It costs a lot of money. In the mountain village, the income came from working. The few acres of land on the mountain were dependent on the income. After a year, after deducting all kinds of expenses, the money that could be saved was not much. Therefore, they usually endured and delayed the treatment of common diseases. If you don't feel well, you have to go to the hospital immediately. If you delay, it may cause a big problem. Wang Yao advised very seriously. Okay. Can you take a look at me first? The middle-aged man listened. Okay. Wang Yao knew that the middle-aged man might not listen to his advice. This was the current situation in some areas. This kind of mentality couldn't be changed in a short time. Your disease is the collapse of the arch of your foot. Wang Yao found the problem with a little examination. What do you mean? Haha, the normal sole of the foot is arched. Yours is flat. Wang Yao smiled. Didn't you notice it on weekdays? I really didn't notice it. How should I treat it? Come on, take off your shoes. The middle-aged man took off his shoes. Immediately, a stinky smell spread out. The villagers were busy all day long, so they were not very particular about hygiene. Well, I'm sorry. Do you want me to go out and wash my feet before coming back? The middle-aged man felt a little embarrassed and was about to get up. Chapter 362. You don't have to. It won't get in the way. Wang Yao didn't dislike the middle-aged man. He put a piece of paper on the man's back and began to treat him. The man's arch had collapsed for more than a day or two. The malignant reaction caused by it was the muscle and tissue lesions in the foot. The meridians were twisted and blocked, and the blood and qi were not flowing smoothly. The treatment method Wang Yao thought of was relatively simple. It was massage and neishi to assist the treatment. In the beginning, his movements were relatively gentle. The middle-aged man only felt that his foot was warm and comfortable, as if he was soaking in hot water. Slowly, Wang Yao began to increase the strength. Crack! There was a slight crisp sound from his foot. At the same time, he felt a burst of pain in his foot. He couldn't help but make a sound. Does it hurt a little? A little. Bear with it. Wang Yao used external force to reset the man's originally dislocated bones. It took him about 20 minutes to use his qi and his unique technique to make Wang Yao feel better. Wang Yao's treatment was over. Well, you can try to walk. The middle-aged man put on his shoes and walked a few steps. As expected, his foot didn't hurt at all. He jumped a few times on the spot. There was no problem. It's really cured. Yao, your skills are really amazing, he exclaimed. Haha, you should pay attention to it. I just reset the bones and relieve the pain of the muscles. Don't wear such flat shoes. Wear more comfortable shoes. They can support the arch of your foot, Wang Yao said. Oh, okay. How much should I pay you? No need. Wang Yao waved his hand with a smile. How can that be? It's really not necessary. You know how to do it, right? Well, thank you. The middle-aged man smiled and left. In his heart, his evaluation of Wang Yao increased. He is really a capable young man. In a marked hospital in Jing, thousands of miles away. Where did you receive the treatment? Well, a private clinic. How can a private clinic have such skills? The doctor was stunned after hearing this. He was familiar with this patient. Because of his illness, he lost the ability to move his leg. 2 months ago, he came for a checkup. At that time, the patient was in good health, but the possibility of recovering the ability to move his legs was extremely low. This was the conclusion he came to. But now, this old man actually came with crutches. He could actually walk. Furthermore, he was receiving treatment in a private clinic. This was simply unbelievable. A private clinic there? In Qi province. Dr. He, what do you think of my father's illness? Very good. According to the results of the examination, his nerves have returned to normal. That is to say, in theory, he has regained the possibility of movement. I also saw that the muscle atrophy of his legs is not particularly severe. After a period of training, he should be able to walk normally again. Really? Of course. What's the name of this clinic? Can you tell me? I'm sorry about that. The woman smiled. Ah, that's a pity. The doctor smiled. Sorry to trouble you. It's nothing. Take care. The woman helped her father out of the doctor's office. I didn't expect Buyuan's friend to be so amazing. Yes, I really have to thank him, the old man said. This old man was Chun Buyuan's father-in-law. He had received treatment from Wang Yao. After several treatments, he returned to Jing because of something. However, his body was getting better day by day. First, he could feel his legs. Then, he could do some simple movements like moving his toes and lifting his legs slightly. Then, through his persistence and exercise, he could stand up and walk a few steps while holding on to things. Now, he was able to move with crutches. Dad, why don't you use the wheelchair first? His daughter saw that it was very difficult for her father to move. After all, it was still a short time. His legs were still weak and could not support his body. No, I have to exercise slowly and make progress little by little, the old man said with a smile. Okay, Dad, please take your time. Can you find time to ask Buyuan when he has time to go to Dr. Wang's clinic with me and ask him to take a look at me? Okay, I'll ask him when I get back. In the mountain village, Wang Yao's mother was busy in the kitchen. The father and son were drinking tea in the living room. Dad, is there something on your mind? Wang Yao looked at his father. It seemed that there was something on his mind. Your brother is not good at studying. He doesn't want to take the high school entrance exam. Brother Wang Hao. Yes. Wang Yao's uncle's child was going to take the high school entrance exam next year. There is still nearly a year left. Do you want to work harder? Did my uncle come to see you? No, he called me, Wang Yao said. What did he mean? He asked if you know someone who wants him to work after finishing middle school. After middle school? How can that be? Isn't that child labor? What is he thinking? Let him go to high school, Wang Yao said. Your brother doesn't want to go to school anymore. My suggestion is to continue to go to high school. You can ask my uncle to persuade him again. When he goes to high school, he may meet a good head teacher. If the head teacher works hard, he will work hard and get into college. Although there are college students everywhere now, a diploma is the standard for many companies to hire employees. What can a junior high student do after graduation? Okay, I'll talk to your uncle again, Wang Fenghua said. After dinner, Wang Yao received a call from Chun Buyuan when he was still at home. What? You are coming to Beijing? Chun Buyuan was very happy to hear the news. Yes, I'll go there soon. Okay. I'll wait for you. You must tell me the flight number of the plane. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Chun Buyuan was very happy. These days, he had heard Song Ruiping mention more than once when Dr. Wang would be free to come to Beijing. He had been in charge of contacting Wang Yao, which put a lot of pressure on him. Now that he heard Dr. Wang say this, he was relieved. He could also ask Wang Yao to diagnose his father-in-law again. He looked at the time. It was only 8 p.m., so he called Song Ruiping. Ma'am, Dr. Wang said that he will come to Beijing soon. Yes, it has been confirmed. Okay, don't worry. On the other end of the phone, Song Ruiping was also very happy to hear the news. Although her daughter had been recovering during this period of time, the process was slow. She thought that if Wang Yao came, he would definitely be able to speed up the process. Maybe her daughter could get out of bed and move around. What's the matter? Why are you so happy? Dr. Wang will come in a few days. Really? Song Ruiping's husband was also very happy. In the past few years, his official position had been getting higher and higher. However, his daughter was a burden on his mind, and it was getting heavier and heavier. It was not easy to meet a doctor with amazing medical skills like Wang Yao. His daughter was showing signs of improvement, which made the family very happy. It had been 2 months, but Dr. Wang still did not come, which made them very worried. The phone call made them feel at ease. Let Chen Ying take care of him. Yes, she's the best. The next day, he drove Tong Wei to the company. He did not spend the night in Dao, but he was still worried about Tong Wei's safety, so he contacted Sun Jingrong in advance. No problem. Sun Jingrong recovered in this way. In Dao, if there was something that he could not solve, there were no more than 5 people who could. Thank you. You're welcome. His son was still counting on Wang Yao to treat him. He did not dare to be careless at this time. Moreover, he had met Dr. Wang in Jing. Wang Yao had connections with the rich and powerful in Jing. Maybe Wang Yao could help him further in the future. He had to maintain a good relationship with Wang Yao. After dealing with this matter, he gave Tong Wei some instructions. If you have any problems here, let me know in time. I know. Don't worry, Tong Wei replied with a smile. Come on, give me a hug. He held each of them in his arms. There was a faint fragrance and strong tenderness. Take care of yourself outside. Okay. He gently kissed them. Drive safe. Okay. Wang Yao drove back home and carefully took care of the herbal field on the hill. Then, he told the people on the hill what to do. Sanxian de Xia, I'll be out for a while. I'll leave the things on the mountain to you guys. Woof, woof. Sanxian was the first to respond. The goshawk on the branch flapped its wings a few times to show that it also knew. Swish, swish, swish. A snake came out from the grass. Wow, Xiaohei has grown so big? He had not seen the snake for a while. It was a little thicker. Hiss, this snake should grow a layer of skin after shedding, right? Wang Yao looked at the black snake in the grass. Where is your snake shedding? Snake shedding was also a kind of Chinese medicine. However, the snake obviously could not understand what Wang Yao meant. It just raised its head. Forget it. Take good care of the mountain. Wang Yao smiled and patted its head. The snake did not avoid. Obviously, this was not the first time. Wang Yao went back home and told his parents what to do. Are we leaving today? Yes. We'll go to hike first and take a plane to Jing. Okay. Don't forget to visit your second aunt when you get there. Okay. This time, Wang Yao did not bring anything special to Jing. He only brought some pancakes and his chestnut. Besides, it was his first time. There was nothing special to bring. In fact, what kind of place was Jing? It had everything. Even the things he brought could be bought in Jing. However, this also represented the friendship between his family members. As the saying goes, goose feathers are sent from 1,000 miles away. The gift may be small, but it is the thought that counts. Moreover, the things he bought in Jing tasted different from the ones he bought at home. Wang Yao took the afternoon flight. In fact, it was already evening. It was past 8 p.m. when he arrived in Jing. He originally wanted to find a hotel to stay in. He did not expect Chen Buiyuan to drive to the airport as soon as he knew he had arrived in Jing. Chen Buiyuan then drove him to the small courtyard. Chen Ying had been waiting for him. She was still the same. She was as elegant as a chrysanthemum. Hello, Dr. Wang. Hello, Wang Yao greeted with a smile. Yes, you've lost weight. Chen Ying was slightly surprised. You just got off the plane. You haven't eaten yet, right? No, I haven't. I've already prepared dinner for you. You can wash your face first. Okay, thank you. He put the things he brought in the room, washed his face, and went to the dining room. Chen Ying had already prepared the food. There were a few simple dishes and a bowl of porridge at home. It smelled like home. Chen Buiyuan did not leave. He waited in the living room. After Wang Yao finished dinner, He chatted with him for a while. Originally, Mrs. Wang wanted to come and visit in person, but it's already late, so she changed it to tomorrow, Chen Buiyuan said with a smile. No need. I'll go to her home tomorrow. She doesn't need to come again, Wang Yao said. He knew it was probably just a polite remark. He could not really ask Mrs. Wang to come again. Okay, I'll tell Mrs. Wang tomorrow, Chen Buiyuan said. Well, is there anything else? About my father-in-law. After your treatment last time, his health has improved a lot. When do you have time to take a look at him again? Okay. I'll stay in Jing for a few days this time. I'll take some time to take a look at him. Thank you, Chen Buiyuan hurriedly said. In fact, he was waiting for Wang Yao because of this matter. After Chen Buiyuan left, only Wang Yao and Chen Ying were left in the courtyard. Chapter 363. How have you been? Pretty good, Chen Ying said. Is your brother better? Wang Yao asked. Yes, he's a little better, Chen Ying said with a smile. I'll visit him in a few days. Get ready. I want to treat him alone, Wang Yao said. This time, he also wanted to see if his neishi could cure Chen Ying's brother's strange disease. Okay, thank you. Chen Ying was very happy to hear that. They chatted for a while. It was late at night. I won't disturb you, Wang Yao said. Good night, Chen Ying said. Good night, Wang Yao said. Chen Ying went back to her room. Wang Yao sat in the yard and looked at the sky of Jing City. It's still gray. Although the sky looked high, Wang Yao could see the difference in the sky with his extraordinary vision. There were too many people and too many industries here. The city had too much to bear. It always gives people a rather dull feeling. Maybe it was because the city had a strong history. Wang Yao didn't go to bed until 11 o'clock at night. The next morning, Chen Ying prepared breakfast early. There were a few simple dishes, a bowl of soup, and a plate of steamed buns. It tasted good. Tasted like home. Shandong cuisine? Yes, how is it? Chen Ying asked with a smile. It's delicious. It tastes like home. Thank you, Wang Yao said. I'm glad you like it, Chen Ying said. After breakfast, he walked to Su Xiaoshue's house. Song Ruiping had been waiting for him. Hello, Dr. Wang, Song Ruiping said. Hello, Ma-am, Wang Yao said. After exchanging a few pleasantries, he went to Su Xiaoshue's room and prepared to treat her. Hello, Dr. Wang, Song Ruiping said. There was an obvious change in Su Xiaoshue's voice. It had become more pleasant and cheerful. Her body was recovering, and her mental state had been good. After all, she was still able to persist with such a terrible disease. Her mental state was indescribable. As her illness recovered, her mental state had further improved. The gauze on her body had been removed. Her face was still covered with a gauze. Her eyes were bright. Hello, Wang Yao said with a smile. As for Su Xiaoshue, at the very beginning, he felt that she was very pitiful because she had such a strange disease. After several contacts, he admired this girl very much and decided to do his best to cure her disease. From the looks of it, you should be feeling much better recently? It is indeed much better. Su Xiaoshue could feel the obvious changes in her body. She felt much better. Let me show you again. Thank you. Her face was covered by a thin veil, so he couldn't see her complexion. However, he could still tell from the color of the other parts of her body. The skin on her arms and neck had recovered quite well. If one didn't look carefully, they wouldn't be much different from normal. However, if one looked carefully, they would find that the skin on her heart was more healthy and looked like the skin of a baby. From the sound of it, it was clear that he was exerting strength. This was a sign that his body's essence, energy, and spirit had recovered. There was still a burning sensation when he breathed in and out, but it was much weaker than before. Finally, he checked her pulse. The terrible fire poison in her body was still there. A considerable part of her meridians were still blocked. Her internal organs had not been completely recovered. Most of the muscles in her body were still in a state of atrophy. In short, there were still many problems with her body. It was definitely not healthy, and it was still far from being healthy. After seeing Wang Yao treat her, Song Rupiang, who was standing aside, asked softly, "How is it, Dr. Wang? You're recovering well, but you still need to continue to work hard." "Yes. This time, I brought medicine, and at the same time, you need to receive special treatment." "Special treatment?" "Yes, you'll know later." This time, Wang Yao was going to use Neishi to treat her. He wanted to see if it could have an unexpected effect. "Okay," Song Ruiping hurriedly said. "Well, let me try first." Wang Yao grabbed Su Xiaoshue's right hand. The skin on her arm had recovered very well. It was very smooth to the touch. Su Xiaoshue let out a soft cry. "Don't be nervous. Relax your body." Wang Yao covered several acupoints on her palm with his palm and urged Neishi. It was not a transfer of qi. It was a kind of suction. It was like the star-sucking magic and biming magic in wuxia novels. A unique heat was transmitted to Wang Yao's palm through Su Xiaoshue's wrist. It then entered his body along his meridians. It's very strange. He felt that this kind of heat was different. He had used the same method to treat Sun Yunxing when he was in Dao City. It was also because of that good and even magical effect that he had opened a new door for him. It also gave him more confidence in this trip to Beijing. The poison in Sun Yunxing's body was yang poison. The so-called poison was not the kind of poison that was caused by food poisoning. It was a terrible foreign substance that caused a kind of damage to the body. The poison in Sun Yunxing's body was a terrible kind of burning heat. Yang could not grow alone. The poison in Su Xiaoshue's body was terrible in addition to burning heat. It also had a terrible kind of erosion. One was only on fire. The other was on fire and emitting poisonous smoke. A trace of fire poison was sucked into Wang Yao's palm through her arm. Then, it came in contact with the pure Neishi. It was worn out in a very short time. Wang Yao was no stranger to this process. It was the same as the treatment in Dao. This treatment was obviously effective. Su Xiaoshue only felt that her arm suddenly became hot. It was as if something in her body was transmitted through her arm to Wang Yao's palm. It was a magical feeling. After about 20 minutes, Wang Yao temporarily stopped. He could feel that this treatment also had a certain destructive effect on Su Xiaoshue's body. Originally, the tissues and meridians in her body had been badly damaged by the fire poison. It was not easy to get better after the treatment with medicine. This way of removing the poison had a requirement for the strength of the meridians. It was like channeling a flood. If the river was not wide enough and strong enough, it was very likely to cause a flood, and then the nearby areas would be affected. "How do you feel? Tell me the truth." "My arm is hot. Does it hurt?" Su Xiaoshue asked. "Yes," Su Xiaoshue said. In fact, her arm was very painful at this time. It was as if it was being roasted on fire. "I was too hasty," Wang Yao said. "That day in Dao City, Sun Yunxing also had such a reaction, but it was not so severe. That was because before the treatment, he had already taken the medicine decocted with frost grass, which temporarily suppressed the yang toxin. However, Su Xiaoshue was different. The toxin in her body was not suppressed. "I got it." Wang Yao thought about it and directly transferred a part of his Neishi into her body through his palm. This purest vitality essence could help her resist the fire poison in her body. Su Xiaoshue felt the same thing again. A gentle breath passed into her arm through Wang Yao's palm. Then, the gentle breath became cool. In a very short time, it made her uncomfortable arm much better. It was as if it was soaked in cold water. "What is this?" She was very surprised. Song Ruiping was even more surprised. "What kind of treatment is this?" In the last 40 minutes, she found that Wang Yao's palm was almost always holding her daughter's arm. Basically, he did not move. Is this his so-called treatment? Wang Yao's eyes lit up. What is this? His body trembled. In Su Xiaoshue's body, he found another unique breath. This feeling is Neishi. How is it possible? Although it was very weak, almost negligible. If it were not for Wang Yao's attention, he could basically be sure that this was Neishi. No, it could not be called Neishi now. This was the initial embryonic form. How could Su Xiaoshue's body have such a thing? When he treated her last time, it was not there. Moreover, she was seriously ill. She could not even sit up. How could she practice Neishi? Wang Yao was very surprised. Dr. Wang, what's wrong? Seeing the change in Wang Yao's expression, Song Ruiping thought something had happened to her daughter again, so she asked softly. No, nothing. Wang Yao came back to his senses and said. He stared at Su Xiaoxue. Miss Su, do you feel anything different in your body? Dr. Wang, just call me Xiaoxue. Don't call me Mississippi. It sounds awkward, Su Xiaoxue said with a smile. Okay. Well, I feel a lot better recently, and there seems to be something in my body. Something? What is it? Song Ruiping hurriedly asked. Her daughter had never told her about this. Mom, don't worry. I can't explain it clearly. Every time I feel uncomfortable, there is a cool feeling that helps me relieve it. Which position? Lower abdomen. Qihai Dantian. When did it start? About a month ago, Su Xiaoxue said after thinking for a moment. Well, can you tell me how it happened? Wang Yao asked after hesitating for a moment. It's because of you, Dr. Wang, Su Xiaoxue said. Me? Wang Yao was stunned. What does this have to do with me? When you first treated me, you recited a few lines of scriptures, which should be Taoist scriptures, Su Xiaoxue said. When I was free, I would recite those lines of Taoist scriptures. Later, I would ask my mother or Auntie Yun to recite Taoist scriptures for me. I don't know why, but one day there was something in my body. What is it? Wang Yao was stunned after hearing that. What? Chapter 364. Wang Yao remembered clearly that he had taught Su Xiaoxue a few lines of scriptures from the natural classics. At that time, he saw that she was in pain. He had been studying the natural classics for some time. He knew that the natural classics could soothe people's emotions, so he read a few lines. At that time, it was just an accident. He did not expect Su Xiaoxue to be able to practice Neishi according to the scriptures. This was simply a little bit magical. Dr. Wang, is the thing in my daughter's body okay? Song Ruiping was very worried about her daughter. She was afraid that something would happen to her daughter again. It's okay. Not only is it okay, but it also has a positive effect in her body. What is it? Su Xiaoxue asked curiously. Neishi. Neishi. Hearing the answer, both mother and daughter were stunned at the same time. What is that? Haha, you can simply understand it as the internal force in wuxia novels, Wang Yao said with a smile. Internal force? Is there really such a thing? Of course there is, but it's rarely seen on normal days, Wang Yao said. What does it do? It strengthens the body, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. In fact, the qi in Su Xiaoxue's body was very similar to the one he had when he was resting. It was the pure Neishi of Taoism. It had various magical effects, but the qi was too weak. Moreover, she had a way to guide and stimulate the Neishi. She could only let it run with her body. Therefore, its effect was limited. Will there be any side effects? No, this is something that many people want but can't get, Wang Yao said with a smile. That's good, Song Ruiping said. After Su Xiaoxue had a little rest, Wang Yao immediately started the second treatment. This time, he changed the arm. It was the same as the first treatment, but he paid more attention to controlling the use of Neishi. After the treatment, he let Su Xiaoxue rest for a while. Then, he checked her physical condition again. Through the examination, Wang Yao found that this kind of treatment was actually effective, but he had to pay attention to the amount, so as to avoid causing more damage to her body that was already damaged by the fire poison. Fortunately, his inner breath was wonderful and could quickly repair the meridians that the fire poison passed through without any side effects. This time, the treatment lasted for the whole morning. When it was over, it was already past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's all for today. Thank you. Rest well. When he stood up, Wang Yao found a Taoist scripture on the desk next to her bed. Nanhua Sutra. Su Xiaoxue followed his gaze and turned her head. This book is not bad, Wang Yao said with a smile. Yes, I like it too. Dr. Wang, I've prepared lunch for you. Would you like to take a look? Oh, I won't bother you anymore. I'll go back and eat, Wang Yao said with a smile. He still felt a little awkward eating in such a family. Okay. Song Ruiping walked Wang Yao to the door. Dr. Wang, did you walk here? Yes. I'll arrange for someone to drive you there. No, it's fine. Walking is fine. The small courtyard where Wang Yao temporarily lived was not very far from the Su family's house. If he walked fast, it would take less than 20 minutes. It was not convenient to drive such a short distance. When he returned to the small courtyard, he found that Chen Ying had already prepared lunch. Do you want to rest first and then have lunch? Okay. Have you eaten? No. Then let's eat together. While eating, they chatted for a while. I'll go back to my aunt's place in the evening. I won't come back for dinner. Okay. Do you have anything to do in the afternoon? No. Can you go out with me to sell something? Okay. Wang Yao just got up and sat down again. Did something go wrong with your practice? How did you know? Chen Ying was surprised. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child. Although she was a young girl, she actually had profound kung fu skills. She had been practicing martial arts since she was a child. She had been practicing martial arts for more than 20 years. A few days ago, she did have some problems when she was practicing, but it was only a small problem. She did not take it to heart. I noticed that your breathing is not quite right today. People who practiced martial arts for a long time had a unique rhythm of breathing. Wang Yao felt that her breathing was a little shaky. Does it hurt a little here? He pointed at her chest from a distance. Yes, it hurts a little. Let me take a look. Wang Yao sat down and felt her pulse. It's not a big problem. Huh? This problem could be solved in a short time by Wang Yao, but he had to touch her body in the process, and it was a sensitive part. Therefore, he was a little hesitant. What's wrong? Oh, turn around. In a short time, Wang Yao thought of another method. He gently rubbed Chen Ying's back. Although it was already autumn, the clothes she was wearing were still relatively loose. He could feel her soft skin through the clothes. Although she had been practicing martial arts since she was a child, she was still a girl. For a moment, Chen Ying's face was a little red. However, her back was facing Wang Yao, so he could not see it. Wang Yao helped her straighten out her qi by stimulating her meridians. Thump. There was no sound, but Chen Ying could clearly feel that something in her body was opened. Her breathing was also much smoother. How is it? My breathing is smooth. At this time, Chen Ying's face was still a little red. It could not be seen if one did not look carefully. That's good. I'll go back to the room. You should rest. Okay. Chen Ying hurried back to the room. She felt that her heart was beating very fast. Huff, huff. He took a few deep breaths and calmed himself down. What's wrong? Wang Yao went into the room to take a nap. At around 1 p.m., he and Chen Ying went out to the nearest shopping mall to buy some things. In the afternoon, he planned to go to some famous streets and alleys in Beijing. The last few times he came, he only looked at the most famous places of interest. As for the famous streets and alleys, such as the Cultural Street, he had not been to them. In such a big city with thousands of years of history, there were many interesting places. Where do you want to go? Well, is there a Taoist temple here? A Taoist temple? Hearing Wang Yao's request, Chen Ying was a little surprised. She thought about it carefully. Yes, there are still some Taoist temples in Beijing. The most famous one is Baiyun Taoist Temple. Shall we go and have a look? Okay. She drove to Baiyun Taoist Temple. It was said that the Taoist temple was first built in the Tang dynasty. If so, it had a long history. The location of the Taoist temple was in a more prosperous place, very close to the West Railway Station of Beijing. This is it. The Taoist temple was in front of them. It was very ancient. After buying the tickets, the two of them went in. Perhaps because of the time, there were not many people here. After walking around, he saw a few Taoist priests who were dressed in some style. Wang Yao was a little disappointed. He came here because he often recited Taoist scriptures on Nanshan Hill. He hoped to hear something or see something special here. Perhaps it could have a good impact on his practice and help. However, this Taoist temple had become a pure classic. It had lost what it was originally supposed to be passed down. Let's go. After a simple walk around, Wang Yao directly left. He did not go to the other Taoist temples. He thought that they should not be much different from this one. Why do you want to go to the Taoist temple? I want to feel something, but I can't find it. Feel something? Why don't we go to the temple? There are many famous temples in Beijing. Moreover, the incense here is much stronger than these Taoist temples. No, it's not necessary. It's just a small matter. After that, they walked around for a while. At about 6 p.m., Wang Yao went to his second aunt's house. His second aunt's family was very happy. His cousin seemed to have gotten out of the shadow of being heartbroken. There was a smile on her face. How long will you stay in Beijing this time? About a week. Come and stay here. I'll cook delicious food for you every day, his second aunt said. No, I have a place to live. You and uncle should take care of yourselves. He found that his second aunt and uncle seemed to be thinner than the last time he left, but they were still in good spirits. Hey, your sister is about to go to college. I'm thinking of changing houses with your uncle. Changing houses? Now? Beijing? What was the most famous thing in Beijing? It was not the roast duck, the Forbidden City, or the Great Wall. It was the price of housing. That wasn't an ordinary amount of money. Hey, I've already chosen. Let me know if you need money, Wang Yao hurriedly said. Since they planned to buy, as a junior, he still had to support them. He did not dare to say too much. So far, he could still afford 10 million yuan. In his opinion, money was not that important. Okay. His second aunt just responded. Unless it was absolutely necessary, she would not ask her junior to ask for money. After dinner, Wang Yao checked his second aunt's and uncle's health. Both of them did not have any major problems, but their bodies were in a state of fatigue. Your bodies are in a subhealthy state. You need to rest. Don't be too tired. Got it, his second aunt said with a smile. Their family now felt that their life was quite fulfilling, especially his second aunt. She had adapted to her new job. Her salary was twice as high as before, and her workload was not as heavy. She wanted to earn more while she could still work. After all, living in Beijing was more stressful. For example, their current house was only slightly more than 70 square meters. If they sold it, they could buy a villa in Hike with a sea view. After dinner, Wang Yao chatted with his second aunt's family for a while. He then left. When he returned to the courtyard, it was already past 9 p.m. He sat on the deck chair in the courtyard as usual and looked at the night sky in Beijing. It will rain tomorrow, he said softly. Chapter 365. Su Xiaoshue's family invited Dr. Chen to their house that night. Neishi. Dr. Chen was surprised when he heard the word. Yes, that's what Dr. Wang said, Song Ruiping said. Song Ruiping was still worried about the so-called Neishi in her daughter's body, so she asked someone to invite Chen Lao over. Do you know about it? Song Ruiping asked. How can I not know? Isn't it in novels and movies? Dr. Chen asked with a smile. I'm not talking about that, Song Ruiping said. I know. In fact, there is such a thing, Dr. Chen said after thinking for a moment. Really? Have you seen it? Song Ruiping asked. Yes, Dr. Chen said. What's the use of Neishi? Song Ruiping asked. Well, it depends on the method. Some can increase strength, some can improve the body's resistance, and some are harmful, Dr. Chen said. There are harmful effects? Song Ruiping asked. Yes, I heard it from a Jianghu doctor a few years ago in Jizhou. I also saw an old man. He was 62 years old at that time. He was thin, but he walked like he was flying. I saw with my own eyes that he could break a big stone with one palm. It was not a juggling act. It was real kung fu. He was a person with Neishi, Dr. Chen said. Oh, what about the Neishi in Xiaoshue's body? Song Ruiping asked. I also felt a unique Neishi in her body, but I didn't expect it to be this kind of thing. What did he say? Song Ruiping asked. He said it was beneficial, Song Ruiping said. Well, it shouldn't be bad. But why does Xiaoshue have Neishi in her body? Dr. Chen asked curiously. I don't know. Dr. Wang didn't say. I asked Xiaoshue. She likes Taoist scriptures. She likes to listen to them when she has nothing to do. Then, she has Neishi in her body. Hiss? Hearing this, Elder Chen took a deep breath. This was truly a great blessing. Neishi was a legendary thing. It could only be found by chance. It couldn't be obtained through hard work. It was definitely a blessing to have Neishi in her body after listening to a few Taoist scriptures. It seems that God also feels that she has suffered too much over the years and wants to take care of her, Dr. Chen said with a smile. By the way, did Dr. Wang give her medicine again? Song Ruiping asked. Yes, not today. No? That's really strange. Elder Chen was puzzled. What happened? When I checked Xiaoshue's pulse just now, I found that the illness in Xiaoshue's body had significantly reduced. I thought that Dr. Wang had used some miracle medicine on Xiaoshue this time. How did he treat her without any medicine? Well, I'm not too sure about that. Song Ruiping changed her mind. There were some things that she didn't understand yet, so it was better for fewer people to know. Right? How long is he planning to stay here this time? About a week. 1 week. Okay. After Elder Chen's inspection and explanation, Song Ruiping's heart was finally at ease. As long as it's harmless. She hoped that this time, Wang Yao's visit to Beijing could make her daughter better, such as being able to stand up. Of course, this was only the best result. She could always develop in a good direction. In the morning, the air in Beijing was not particularly good. Some people who had just lived in Beijing for a period of time would easily feel that their throats were dry at this time. This was because the air was dry and polluted. The small courtyard was slightly better in comparison. After all, there were some trees planted here. Chening woke up very early. When she woke up, Wang Yao had already woken up and was practicing boxing in the courtyard. He was not practicing kung fu. Instead, he was practicing a unique stance. She had never seen this posture before. She stood aside and watched. She didn't disturb him. Wang Yao stood quietly in the courtyard. He stood there for more than an hour. He only stopped when Chen Ying finished preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Dr. Wang, what kind of kung fu were you practicing just now? Chen Ying asked curiously. Kung fu? Wang Yao was stunned. Yes, isn't it? Oh, kind of. I was inducing qi. Inducing qi? Wang Yao nodded with a smile. In fact, He was communicating and communicating with the chi between heaven and earth through his nashi. How's the arrangement for your brother's matter? I'm communicating with them. There will be a result this afternoon. That's good. I want a quiet environment. No one can disturb me, Wang Yao said. He was going to try nashi to see if it could help his brother's strange condition. The less people knew about this process, the better. I understand. In the morning, Wang Yao went to Su Xiaoshue's house again. He continued to use the same method to treat Su Xiaoshue. The treatment process was completed when it was close to noon. Do you feel different this time compared to yesterday? He could diagnose the condition and the changes in the body, but he couldn't judge the patient's feelings. If the process was a kind of torture for the patient, then he needed to consider another method. I feel better than yesterday, Su Xiaoshue said. In fact, the feeling today was similar to yesterday. It was a kind of burning pain, as if there were several streams of fire running through her arm. However, after this kind of pain, she felt that the other parts of her body, especially her upper body, seemed to be much lighter. That's good. Wang Yao gently massaged her arm, starting from the wrist to the shoulder. As he massaged, he asked her how she felt. Well, today's treatment will end here. In Song Ruiping's opinion, it was still massage treatment. There was no medicine. Dr. Wang, when do you think my daughter can stand up? This was what she had been very concerned about. Well, it's hard to say. In the current condition of her body, it was impossible for her to stand up. It would take a long time for her to recover. She had been lying in bed for more than 3 years. Even if someone massaged her every day, the muscles in her body had atrophied. In addition, there was a terrible heat toxin in her body. It was very difficult for her to even move, let alone stand. It was the biggest miracle that she was still alive. Now, let her try to move her arms and turn over, and then consider the problem of standing up. It was impossible to run without learning how to walk. Oh, okay. After the treatment, when Wang Yao was about to leave, he happened to see Su Xianghua coming home. Hello, Dr. Wang. Hello, Mr. Su. Su Xianghua was afraid that Mr. Su was quite unusual. As his cultivation became more and more profound, his sense of qi became more and more sensitive. It was not only the natural qi between heaven and earth, but also the qi of people and animals. It was not only related to the strength of the body, but also related to the status and cultivation of people. For example, people who had been in a high position for a long time would have a special qi over time. This was the so-called cultivation of qi. The momentum was extraordinary. Su Xianghua had a kind of qi that was far from ordinary people. Dr. Wang, are you leaving? Su Xianghua's attitude toward the young man was very kind. Yes, today's treatment is over. Why don't you have lunch here before leaving? No, I'd better go back and eat. Okay, thank you for your help. You're welcome. After exchanging a few pleasantries, Wang Yao took his leave. How is it? Su Xianghua went into the house and asked about his wife and daughter. Xiaoshue said she feels better. Why are you back now? I had something urgent to do. I happened to pass by, so I came to see her, Su Xianghua said. Where is Xiaoshue? She just fell asleep. Oh, then I won't go. Su Xianghua took a sip of water in the living room and left. What's the matter? Song Ruiping looked at her husband's back as he left, but she did not ask. Dr. Wang, I have arranged it. It will be tomorrow morning. Okay, tomorrow morning it is, Wang Yao said. By the way, can you accompany me to the antique street in the afternoon? Okay, Chening said. Could it be that this Dr. Wang likes to play with antiques? In fact, Wang Yao just wanted to see if he could find something related to medicine on the antique street. After lunch, it was past 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He and Chen Ying set off directly from home. The antique street in Beijing was very famous. There were all kinds of antiques, real and fake, old and new. People came and went. It was very lively. Dr. Wang, do you know about antiques? No, I'm just curious, so I came to have a look. He wanted to come yesterday, but he gave up because it was already late. Come, young man, have a look. Some people set up street stalls and some opened shop. Wang Yao strolled on the street unhurriedly. Wang Yao suddenly stopped by a stall. He saw a book of scriptures. The name of the book was a bit strange. It was Zhou Yi reference. Zhou Yi. Boss, how much is this book? Wang Yao pointed at the book that was thrown in an inconspicuous place. This book, young man, you have a good eye, the man said. This is from the Ming dynasty. Since you like it, the price is 50,000 yuan. 50,000 yuan? Wang Yao laughed when he heard the price. Although he didn't know much about cultural relics and didn't know the trick, he could clearly see the expression and tone of the man when he was talking. He was obviously ready to rip off the fat sheep. Can I have a look? Okay, here you are. The man handed the book to Wang Yao. This book indeed looked like something that had been around for a long time. Moreover, it recorded many things related to the 8 trigrams of the Book of Changes. There were also some annotations. It was an antique, but it was hard to say which dynasty it was from. Moreover, such things were actually not worth much. Of course, it did not rule out the possibility that some people liked to study the Book of Changes. If one met them, this book might sell for a high price. 3,000 yuan. Wang Yao said such a price. Young man, are you kidding? This book is from the Ming dynasty. I think you are faded. 30,000 yuan. 3,000 yuan. You are making things difficult for me. 20,000 yuan, it can't be lower. Ha! Wang Yao put down the book in his hand. Chapter 366. Then keep it for yourself. Wang Yao got up and left. Hey, little brother, don't be in such a hurry to leave. Let's discuss it again. How about this? I'll give you another 5,000 yuan. Can you take this book? The peddler asked. 3,000 yuan. Do you want to sell it or not? Okay, 3,000 yuan it is. Take it that I've made a friend. The peddler looked very sad. Wang Yao paid the money happily. Little brother, don't you want to take a look? I still have a lot of good things here. No, thank you. Just as he was about to leave, he heard a voice. How much is this book? The person who asked the question was a man in his 30s. He had a medium build and a square face. He was wearing a somewhat old-fashioned Chinese tunic suit. This book? The peddler pointed at the book in Wang Yao's hand. Yes. 3,000 yuan. I've already sold it to this young man. Hello, sir. Can you sell it to me? Name a price. The man turned to Wang Yao and said, Sorry, I bought it for myself. 5,000 yuan. Wang Yao smiled. 10,000 yuan? The peddler next to him was dumbfounded. What was going on? He had just sold it for less than 3 minutes, and the price had already tripled. He looked down at the 3,000 yuan in his hand, and his complacent mood disappeared without a trace. I really bought it for myself. I'm sorry. He turned and left. 30,000 yuan? The middle-aged man behind him hurriedly said. Wang Yao waved his hand without looking back. Sigh, what a pity. The middle-aged man sighed. Sir, this is my business card. If you want to sell this ancient book, you can contact me. He caught up with Wang Yao in a few steps and handed him a business card. There was only a simple name and a phone number on it. Bo Jingshan. Okay. Wang Yao took the business card and left with Chen Ying. Boss? The peddler asked Bo Jingshan softly. What's the matter? Is that book really worth 30,000 yuan? Hee. Bo Jingshan smiled faintly. In your eyes, 300 isn't worth anything. In my eyes, it's a priceless treasure. It's a pity that we're not fated to meet. After he finished speaking, Bo Jingshan smiled and left, leaving the stall owner standing there in a daze. Sigh. When he came back to his senses, he stomped his foot. Seriously, how great would it be if I could level up a little more? This was a classic example of greed. In fact, when he first got this book, it was an old book that was weighed by caddies. The total cost was less than 30 yuan. Being able to sell it for 3,000 yuan today was already a hundredfold profit. Dr. Wang, are you still interested in the art of Zhou? On the way back, Chen Ying asked curiously. Well, yes, Wang Yao said with a smile. When he was on the mountain, he had also studied things like yin and yang, 5 elements, Zhou 8 trigrams, and so on. However, these things were relatively shallow. It was not like medicine that he had already entered the door. The next step was to reach a higher level. However, he was very interested in this. Not to mention anything else, the magical use of the unknown 5 elements illusory array and spirit gathering array made him realize the mystery and magic in it. He was very interested in it. Chen Ying responded. At the same time, she secretly noted it down. She was arranged by the Su family to be in charge of various matters during Wang Yao's stay in Beijing. In addition to taking care of his basic necessities, there was another very important task, which was to find out his personal preferences. She already knew 2 of them. One was that he liked tea, which was actually a little forced. The other was that he liked things related to medical skills, which was a real hobby. Now, there was one more thing, which was that he was interested in things like Zhou. The purpose of the Su family's people was very simple. They wanted to cater to his preferences. They had secretly investigated him. He did not like money, power, or beauty. It was a little surprising that these things were placed on a young man. Such a young man was not said to be extinct in today's society. It was very rare. However, he also had superb medical skills. If they wanted to seek medical treatment and have a good relationship with him, they had to know what he wanted and liked. Then, they had to provide him with these things. This way of thinking was a relatively universal point of view now. As for the way of treating people with sincerity, well, how to put it, it was not that there was no such way, but it had changed its meaning. After buying the book, the 2 of them walked around the street again. They did not see anything they wanted. Oh, by the way, is there any jade shop here? Yes, Chen Ying said. Do you want to buy jade? Let's go and have a look. Wang Yao wanted to buy a piece of jade for his mother. He accidentally heard his mother mention that someone had a jade bracelet. It was very beautiful. Now that he had the opportunity, he wanted to buy a piece of jade for her in Beijing. Then, Chen Ying took Wang Yao to a jewelry company. It was quite large. Oh, Miss Chen, it's rare to see you here. The manager obviously knew Chen Ying. As soon as he saw her, he smiled and greeted her. Hello, Manager Li, Chen Ying said. Are you here to look at jewelry today? Mr. Wang wants to have a look. Oh, what do you want to see, Mr. Wang? The manager hurriedly asked. He was a shrewd person. He knew Chen Ying's background was not ordinary. Now that she had accompanied such an inconspicuous young man to buy things, the other party's identity was definitely not simple. He paid attention to it because such people had always been generous. It was also a kind of connections to be able to make. Jade. Okay, please take a look here. He immediately led Wang Yao to the side of the counter that was used to store jade jewelry. Take a look. Which one is suitable? Do you want to wear it yourself or give it to your family? Give it to my family, Wang Yao said. My parents. Oh, is that a jade pendant or a bracelet? A pair of bracelets and a jade pendant. Wang Yao had already thought about it. He had enough money to buy a pair of bracelets for his mother and a jade pendant for his father. Okay, what do you think of this bracelet? Then, Manager Li took out a pair of bracelets from the glass cabinet. Wang Yao glanced at it and then stretched out his hand to touch it. It was cool to the touch and had a unique feeling. In addition, there was a special qi dynamic. The bracelet was green and white. It looked good, But Wang Yao did not like it. He looked at the glass cabinet again, and his eyes fell on a pair of bracelets. The bracelet was pure white with only a few strands of green hair in it. It was like the water plants at the bottom of the river. It looked very vivid. What about that one? He stretched out his hand and pointed. Oh, you are an expert. He took out the jade bracelet. This jade bracelet seemed to be not much different from the one just now. This is authentic Hetian jade. Manager Li introduced it professionally. There were many professional terms that Wang Yao did not understand. However, due to his cultivation, he was far more sensitive to these natural things than ordinary people. How much is this one? 450,000, Wang Yao hesitated for a moment. It was not that he thought the price was too expensive, but he was not particularly familiar with the market of jade articles. He was not short of money, but he was not a fool. Manager Li, we are old friends. Can you make it cheaper? Chen Ying looked at the bracelet and said, Yes, we are old friends. But Miss Chen, look at the quality of this jade. How about this? I will make it 420,000. Wang Yao looked at Chen Ying and saw her nod. Okay, I want this bracelet. Okay. Manager Li said with a smile. He could get a lot of commission by selling this pair of bracelets. He hurriedly found someone to pack it. Let me look at the jade pendant again. After looking at a few pieces, he took a fancy to a jade pendant. It didn't look big, but the texture was better than the bracelet just now. Moreover, the quality of the jade was better. It was a first-class mutton fat white jade. The carving on it was also very good. I want this one. The volume of this white jade was less than 1/5 of the jade bracelet, but the price was about the same as the bracelet. It was slightly more expensive. All of a sudden, he had spent more than 800,000 yuan. This is my business card. Mr. Wang, if you have any other needs, just let me know, Manager Li said with a smile. Okay. It was already past 5 p.m. when they came out of the jewelry store. Where else do you want to go? No, let's go back. Okay. After returning, Chen Ying was busy preparing dinner in the kitchen alone. Wang Yao was reading the Zhou Yi reference in his room. This book was an ancient book. According to Wang Yao's judgment, what the peddler said might be true. This book might really be from the Ming dynasty because some of the descriptions vaguely mention the Ming dynasty. This book was the author's understanding of the 8 trigrams of the Book of Changes. There were also some special things, such as the art of divination. Wang Yao was very fascinated by the book. The sky outside gradually darkened. He did not get out of the book until Chen Ying called him for dinner. Good book. He gently closed the book and sighed. This could be considered an unexpected gain for him. After dinner, Wang Yao sat in the yard and closed his eyes to rest. Buzz. Suddenly, he heard a subtle sound. There was a mosquito. He waved his hand and a stream of qi rushed out. The mosquito fell to the ground and did not make a sound. The sound of footsteps. There was a visitor. It was a young man. He really came to Jing? The voice was bright and sunny. The person who came was also a handsome young man. He was the son of the Guo family, Guo Jinghe. Mr. Guo. Chen Ying hurriedly greeted him. Tisk, Sister Ying, how many times have I said this? Can we change the way we address each other? Guo Jinghe said with a smile. I'll make tea. Hello, Brother Wang. Guo Jinghe seemed to be very close to Wang Yao. Hello, Mr. Guo. Hey, are you trying to kick me out? Guo Jinghe was not happy. Call me Xiao Guo or Jinghe, or I'll leave immediately, Wang Yao said. Sit. Wang Yao smiled and pointed to the stool beside him. When did you come to Jing? Chapter 367. A day ago, Wang Yao replied. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? How long will you stay? It depends. About a week, Wang Yao said. When will you be free? Guo Jinghe asked. What's wrong? A few friends want to know you, Wang Yao said. Let's talk about it later, Wang Yao said with a smile. He didn't want to know too many of these young masters. Okay, Wang Yao said. After staying for a while, Guo Zhenghe left. Before leaving, he didn't forget to say goodbye to Chen Ying, who was busy in the room. After Guo Zhenghe left, Chen Ying came out of the room. This child Guo is well informed, Chen Ying said. In the past 2 days, Wang Yao hadn't contacted anyone except the Su family and his aunt's family. However, child Guo had already heard the news and came to visit him. Well, he does have a lot of connections, Chen Ying said. Apparently, Chen Ying didn't like Mr. Guo very much. She was even a little afraid of him. Therefore, she stayed in the room and didn't come out. Wang Yao had noticed this earlier. He was also very confused about why she had such a reaction, but he didn't ask about it. After chatting with Chen Ying for a while, Chen Ying went into the room. Wang Yao sat alone in the yard and looked at the sky. He didn't get up until 9 o'clock and went to the middle of the yard. Then, he stood in the middle of it and circulated the Neishi in his body, releasing it outwards to connect and communicate with the qi in the small courtyard. The qi he released was like a lead, an opportunity, and some kind of guide. Then, he had a feeling that the air around him could be touched and pulled, just like a soft gauze. With a gentle wave of his hand, the gauze began to move as well. The breath began to move, and it became the wind. Then, the wind started to blow in the yard, making the plants rustle. Chen Ying looked out of her room and saw Wang Yao practicing kung fu in a strange way. Or, it could be said that he didn't practice kung fu at all. Wherever he went, the leaves rustled. However, the leaves farther away were still. The wind was stirred up by his movements. Some kung fu masters were able to create wind with their fists and feet when their movements were extremely fast. However, Wang Yao's movements were extremely slow and gentle. It felt like Tai Chi, but it wasn't exactly Tai Chi yet, there was still a gust of wind. This skill was really amazing. Wang Yao's interest was also piqued. He continued to practice in the courtyard until it was nearly midnight. Only then did he stop and enter the house to rest. In the small courtyard, leaves were scattered all over the ground. Early in the morning, it started to drizzle. It was thin and cool. The autumn rain is like silk. This kind of weather was suitable for making a cup of tea, reading a book, or doing nothing and just quietly watching the rain outside the window. For some people, a rainy day was a good day to sleep. This kind of weather was also suitable for sleeping. Wang Yao and Chen Ying came to the treatment center where her brother was. After getting out of the car, Chen Ying handed Wang Yao an umbrella. Thank you. Because they had practiced for a long time, the people in the treatment center had been waiting there for a long time. Chen Ying was a special customer. The annual fee she paid was very high. A medical institution like theirs naturally had to treat her well. For her requests, they would try their best to satisfy them. Hello, Miss Chen. A middle-aged woman greeted them. She was not tall and had a thin body, but her spirit was good. Hello, Dean Fu. I have arranged everything. Please come with me. Then she led the way in front and the two of them followed behind. Aim properly this time. Don't make any mistakes. I think we have to change our point of view in this multi-party meeting. In the long run, gold is still a hard currency. Let me tell you, I am a descendant of Emperor Tang. I have a sword at home that was bestowed by Emperor Mingsheng. Along the way, Wang Yao heard a lot of conversations between patients. It was very exciting and imaginative. We're here. Dean Fu took them to a separate treatment room. Inside was a young man who looked to be only 14 or 15 years old. He had delicate features and was sitting quietly in a chair. His eyes were calm and focused. Little Zhou? Chen Ying whispered. Why can't I break his red sleeve blade with Sword of Sorrow? As soon as he opened his mouth, he spoke in a strong wuxia style. Dr. Wang, what do you think? Let me try. Wang Yao smiled and walked in front of him. Who are you? Chen Ying's brother stared at Wang Yao. The person who will treat you. Can you resolve the heterogeneous qi in my body? Well, to tell you the truth, I know Yi Jing, Wang Yao said with a smile. That's impossible. The muscle-bone strengthening scripture is a secret of Shaolin Temple. In the past, only the abbot of Shaolin Temple, the abbot of Arhut Hall, and a few other people could practice it. How did you get it? Who are you? Did you kill Xiancheng? Chen Zhou's eyes suddenly became fierce, and his momentum changed. Ha ha, I killed him. Well, come with me to Shaolin. Let's talk it out and clear my name. He grabbed Wang Yao's wrist with great strength. South Wuming or North Sword Sage? Wang Yao asked another question. Chen Zhou's expression changed again. It became much more serious. Who are you? Who is Chening? Chening? Chen Zhou was stunned when he heard the name. Then, he became absent-minded and fell into deep thought. The name sounds familiar. Do you have any relatives? I don't have any relatives. They all died in the fire. Chen Zhou's expression changed again. He became very angry. Why is God so unfair? Even if I have mastered the peerless martial arts, I can't save my family's lives. Chen Ying looked very worried. She didn't understand why Wang Yao would ask such irrelevant questions. Her brother's answer was obviously more imaginative. Chen Zhou lived in his own world. That was Wang Yao's feeling. He had a martial arts world which was complicated and wonderful. I see, Wang Yao said with a smile. Then, he suddenly waved his hand. Before anyone could see what he did, Chen Zhou fell down. What? Chen Ying hurried forward to help her brother fall down. Dr. Wang, what are you doing? Haha, don't worry, it's all right. I just put him in a coma temporarily. It will help him to receive treatment. You saw it. He can't receive treatment in his mental state just now. What should we do next? Carry him to the bed. Chen Ying did as she was told. She carefully carried her brother to the bed near the wall. Wang Yao came to the bedside and carefully checked the veins in Chen Zhou's head. There is a problem. This time, he found something unusual. It was not a blockage. It was some kind of distortion. That's strange. Why didn't I find this problem last time? He carefully checked and confirmed that there was indeed a problem. What's wrong, Dr. Wang? Chen Ying hurriedly asked when she saw Wang Yao's strange expression. Oh, there is something wrong. Let me take a look. After taking a closer look, Wang Yao found that there was indeed a problem with some of the veins in Chen Zhou's head. If there was a problem, it would be easy to explain. He stretched out his hand and pressed Chen Zhou's head with an extremely gentle movement. It was like a massage. In fact, he had released his neishi. He tried to use external stimulation and neishi to unblock and straighten the veins. Of course, this was the head, so he had to be extra careful. The room was very quiet. No one disturbed them. Chen Ying didn't even dare to breathe. She could see that Wang Yao was giving her brother a special treatment. Sweat appeared on Chen Zhou's forehead. His body was slightly trembling. Chen Ying carefully wiped the sweat off her brother. She nervously clenched her hands. Chen Zhou was her only family member in the world. She couldn't be careless. After about 40 minutes, Wang Yao removed his hands from Chen Zhou's head. Phew! He gently breathed a sigh of relief. It's done. It's done. Chen Ying asked. I mean, the treatment is over. As for the effect, we can only know when he wakes up. Moreover, he definitely can't recover with this treatment, Wang Yao said with a smile. As he spoke, he gently tapped a few places behind Chen Zhou's pillow. A few minutes later, Chen Zhou slowly woke up. Sis, when did you come? His eyes regained clarity. He recognized Chen Zhou at a glance. Where am I? Then, he found that he was not in the original ward. This is the room I asked the deputy director to arrange. This is Dr. Wang, Chen Ying introduced. He was treating you just now. Treating? Chen Zhou was a little surprised. My illness can't be cured. Sis, don't worry so much about me. You don't have to find such a good place for me. Let's go to another hospital. When Chen Zhou was sober, he was very reasonable and considerate of his sister. Dr. Wang's medical skills are very good. You have to have confidence in your illness. Okay. Chen Zhou had no choice but to agree. Let me take a look at you. Wang Yao carefully examined him again. This time, not only his head, but also other parts of his body. After a round of examination, Wang Yao found that Chen Zhou's body was unusually healthy. Of course, except for his mental health. Very good. Your body is very healthy. I have a mental problem. Chen Zhou didn't avoid this aspect. Take it slow. After making sure that his nashi was effective, he thought about how to cure it. Wang Yao and Chen Ying stayed in the hospital for a total of a morning. Chen Zhou, who had regained his clarity of mind, finally got to meet his sister. Naturally, they talked a lot. The two of them even had a meal together. During the whole process, Chen Zhou remained awake. Remember to tell Dean Fu to arrange for someone to carefully observe your brother and talk to him to determine when his illness will act up again. Then, she will inform you, Wang Yao told Chen Ying before they were about to leave. Okay. Chen Ying went to tell Dean Fu. Then, she left with Wang Yao. Dr. Wang, what's my brother's illness? It's very strange. Chapter 368. How strange? Chen Ying hurriedly asked. It's hard to say, Wang Yao said after thinking for a moment. He still hadn't figured out the cause of Chen Zhou's illness. Did your brother like martial arts novels when he was young? Yes, he liked them very much, Chen Ying said. Did he practice martial arts when he was young? Yes, I did, but I stopped after I got injured again. Injured? Where was he injured? His neck. Neck? Wang Yao remembered it in his heart. When was it? When he was 7 years old, Chen Ying said. When did he get this strange illness? When he was 10 years old. Well, okay. It had been 3 years since he became middle-aged. It seemed that there was no necessary connection. After all, it had been quite a long time. After coming out of the treatment center, Wang Yao treated Chen Ying to lunch. The location was an authentic Jiangnan restaurant. There were all kinds of restaurants in Jing City. Although Wang Yao was a northerner, he had a special liking for southern cuisine, especially after he had eaten Huaiyang cuisine several times. He liked it even more. There was no decent Huaiyang cuisine restaurant in Hai. After all, the audience there was relatively small. Huaiyang cuisine was particular, and the price was not low. However, Beijing was different. It was inclusive. There was nothing you couldn't eat. Do you like Huaiyang cuisine? Through this period of contact, Chen Ying had a certain understanding of Wang Yao's living habits, especially since she prepared his daily meals every day. Well, I like it very much, Wang Yao said with a smile. Shall I cook Huaiyang cuisine for you every day in the future? You don't have to do that. Just make it simple. The dishes you cook are quite delicious, Wang Yao said. Thank you. The decoration in the restaurant had the charm of a Jiangnan water town. The dishes were served relatively slowly, but they were very delicate and tasteful. The taste was also good. After lunch, they were not in a hurry to go back. Instead, they went to Beihai Park. As the most famous park in Beijing and even the country, Beihai Park was indeed very good. It had mountains and water, as well as scenic spots and historical sites, grass, trees, insects, and fish. There were also many people who came here. This was a royal garden during the Ming and Qing dynasties, right? Yes. The ancient emperors really knew how to enjoy themselves. Wang Yao sighed. Yes, this North Sea Park used to be part of the royal gardens, Chen Ying said. In the capital, there were several other royal gardens like this. The largest and most famous one had already been destroyed by a huge fire, becoming an eternal regret. There was a lake in the park and the area was quite large. The rain was still falling from the sky, but it was already very light. Water. Wang Yao gazed at the rippling lake water as if he was enlightened. Chen Ying, who was at the side, saw that he was lost in thought as he stared at the lake. He did not disturb him and stood quietly at the side. On a whim, Wang Yao released his internal breath and tried to establish some kind of connection with the rippling lake through the guidance of his qi. As a result, he succeeded. If the previous qi between heaven and earth was a thin veil, then the lake water was a thick cotton cloth. It was easier to feel, but also harder to control. Rise. Wang Yao probed. Then, a wave rose. It was only tens of centimeters high, and it quickly fell back down. What? Chen Ying, who was at the side, saw this scene and was stunned. Was it a coincidence? She looked at Wang Yao again. Rise again. This time, Wang Yao gently pushed his hand. Splash. Not far below the water surface, waves rose up. It was not a coincidence. Chen Ying was completely dumbfounded. What was this? Was this a supernatural ability, or had his kung fu cultivation reached a certain level of oneness of heaven and men, and could already borrow the power of nature? No, I still lack something. I am not skilled enough. After several experiments, Wang Yao gave up. He looked at the stunned Chen Ying and asked with a smile, "What's wrong?" "Sir, what is this?" "Kung Fu." "This is also Kung Fu?" Chen Ying said. In her opinion, this was close to Taoism. Yes, when you reach the depths, you can communicate with heaven and earth, Wang Yao calmly said. Logically speaking, Kung Fu at the beginning was to strengthen the body, and then it was to fight. When it reached a high level, it was a kind of Taoism. While strengthening oneself, one should be able to generate some kind of resonance with heaven and earth. I didn't expect you to have reached this level. It was not that Chen Ying had never seen a Kung Fu master. She had seen people who could be called masters. But to be able to communicate with heaven and earth with a wave of the hand, this kind of cultivation, she used to think that this kind of cultivation would only appear in Kung Fu novels or movies. She did not expect to see it with her own eyes, and it happened to such a young man. His real age was probably younger than her. Even if he started to practice Kung Fu in his mother's womb, it would only be a little more than 20 years. Many people practiced Kung Fu for 20 years and only learned the surface. However, his spirit had already reached such a level. It seemed that there were really geniuses in the world. Let's go, let's have a look at other places. Okay. The two of them walked around Beihai Park. Both of them were people who practiced Kung Fu, and the environment here was good. Because there was a lot of water, it was a little moist when breathing. It was not as dry as other places. However, this puddle of water could not change the dry climate of the entire capital. It was almost evening when the two of them left. Not bad. This time, Wang Yao had gained something again. He was in a good mood. What do you want to eat tonight? Anything. Huayang cuisine. No, it's not necessary. Just make something simple. My mouth is not that picky, Wang Yao said with a smile. You cook well now, but when I go back home, no one will cook for me. This was a joke. When he was in Dao, he had also tasted Tong Wei's cooking. It was also quite good. Then don't leave, Chen Ying said with a smile. In fact, the most important task assigned to her by the Su family was to take care of Wang Yao's meals and provide other help to the best of her ability. At the same time, she was given an impossible task, which was to persuade Wang Yao to stay in Beijing as much as possible without arousing his disgust. Both the Su family and the Guo family hoped that such a young man with excellent medical skills would stay and serve them. Haha. Wang Yao just laughed. Was Beijing good? Of course it was good. The medical care, education, and other basic facilities in Beijing were undoubtedly the best in the country. Otherwise, there would not be a large number of Beijing drifters. Their dream was to stay in Beijing. However, Wang Yao did not particularly like Beijing. Beijing was too big and too prosperous. It lacked tranquility and nature. This might be because he had studied natural classics. He preferred to be close to nature, such as on Nanshan Hill. It was already dark when he returned to the small courtyard. Chen Ying quickly made a few side dishes and a bowl of porridge. It was a simple meal. Wang Yao enjoyed it very much. Sister Ying, where else have you been besides Beijing? While eating, the two of them chatted casually. Whose city, Lin and Ji? Chen Ying said the names of some cities. In her early years, she had been to many places. Yes, Wang Yao replied. Maybe I should also walk around. In the treatment center where Chen Ying's brother was. Still no signs of illness? No, his mind is very normal. That's strange. Chen Zhou's attending doctor was puzzled. Half a day had passed, but there were still no signs of a relapse. This was really abnormal. He knew this patient very well. Sometimes he was awake, and sometimes he had a relapse. He was immersed in a woven world. In his records over the years, the longest time he could stay awake was 1 hour and 17 minutes, and this was after taking the corresponding medicine. However, today, he had stayed awake for more than 8 hours. Who did he see today? His sister came. Dean Fu specially arranged a special ward for him. Continue to observe. Do we still give him medicine? No, we'll wait until he has an illness. Okay. That night, Chen Zhou did not sleep. He was afraid. He was afraid that he would fall into the complicated dream after waking up and forget who he was again. It was very rare for him to be in such a state of clarity. Sister, I really hope I can be like this forever, he whispered. In the small courtyard, Wang Yao recorded today's treatment. At the same time, he also recorded the special feeling in Beihai Park. The next morning, Wang Yao woke up very early. He was still practicing in the courtyard. At this time, he focused on the communication between heaven and earth. Boxing was supplementary, from the first glimmer of dawn until the sun rose. After finishing, Chen Ying had prepared breakfast. What's the plan today? I'm going to see Miss Su's illness, Wang Yao said. Okay, I'll immediately inform Madam to get ready. There were some visitors in the Su family's house, but Song Ruiping had told Chen Ying that once it was confirmed that Wang Yao was going to visit, she should inform her in advance. She would reject some guests and entertain Wang Yao as much as possible. After the meal, the two of them went out. By the way, do you practice Tai Chi? While walking, Wang Yao asked Chen Ying. He had watched her carefully when she was practicing kung fu in the yard. Tai Chi, Tan Tue, and grappling, Chen Ying said. What about the skill of respiration? He found that Chen Ying's breathing had a special rhythm. It was one way when she was practicing martial arts and another way when she was living a normal life. I got it by chance. It comes from Ame, Chen Ying said. Okay. He knew a little about Wulin. When he was in Sangzhou, he had heard the Zhou family mention it. The sects mentioned in the novels were not just imaginary things. For example, sects such as Shaolin, Wudong, Ame, Qingqing, and Kongtong did exist. They had their own special skills. Ordinary people did not know about them, and they would not easily reveal them. Chapter 369. Ame was a famous family. In addition to the boxing she had just mentioned, she should also know Ame boxing. In fact, Chen Ying was already a kung fu master. Don't be fooled by her beautiful appearance. 5 or 6 ordinary men may not be able to get close to her. I feel that there seems to be a problem with your breathing, Wang Yao said. Problem? What's the problem? Chen Ying hurriedly asked. She could feel it herself. When she was circulating her qi, she always felt it was not smooth enough. She had been having this problem for a while. At first, it was not particularly obvious. As time went by, she felt that the problem seemed to be getting worse. If it were not for the fact that she was in Beijing and had something to do, she would have gone to the place where her master was to ask for the reason and the solution. She did not expect Wang Yao to see through her. I have seen you practice boxing. Do you feel it is not smooth and stagnant when you are doing it? Yes, I do feel that way, Chenning said. Do you have a solution? It's hard to say. I don't know the method of your breathing. It was difficult to solve the problem if he did not know the method of doing it. Well, let me go back and tell you. Is that appropriate? These methods of breathing were the unique skills of some sections. They were not something that could be taught to outsiders. It's okay. What I learned is not the most profound thing, Chenning said with a smile. Moreover, in today's society, Kung Fu has declined. This was an indisputable fact. Do you know how to shoot? Wang Yao suddenly asked this question. Yes, Chen Ying answered without hesitation. Chen Ying's identity was quite special. In addition to practicing Kung Fu since childhood, she had also been to the army for a period of time to learn how to shoot. Do you want to try? Shoot? Wang Yao was surprised. Yes. Do you have a way to shoot? Yes. Okay, Wang Yao said with a smile. Song Ruiping had been waiting at home. Hello, Dr. Wang. Su Xiaoxue was in a good mood these days, not only because her body had recovered a lot, and it was because of the person in front of him. She didn't know why, but when she saw Wang Yao, she felt particularly close to him. She liked seeing him, hearing his voice, and talking to him. Hello. After the examination, Wang Yao prepared to start treating her. This time, the treatment method was different. This is the medicine I brewed. Take a portion of it first. He planned to let Su Xiaoxue take a portion of the muscle revitalization powder first. Then, he would use his neishi to treat the poison. He would take both of them at the same time. This way, he might be able to get a better effect. Alright. After taking the medicine, Su Xiaoxue immediately felt cool and comfortable. The cool feeling quickly spread from her abdomen to every part of her body. Wang Yao kept checking his pulse. It's about time. Once again, starting from her right arm, he transferred the fire poison from her body into his own body. When he saw that Su Xiaoxue's expression was unbearable, he stopped and transferred his neishi into her body to help her recover. Let's take a break first. During the treatment, Song Ruiping and another medical staff stayed by the side. Su Xiaoxue rested for about half an hour. Dr. Wang, I think it's about time, Song Ruiping said. Okay. Wang Yao was just about to change to the other arm. Wait. He suddenly had a very novel idea. The effect of this method might be better. Help her up. Su Xiaoxue was helped up. Now, it was difficult for her to even turn over. Therefore, she needed someone to help her sit up. Wang Yao held her hands. He was going to suck out the fire poison from her body and transfer his neishi into her body. Through the two arms, it could form an effective circulation. In this way, the effect might be better. He just didn't know if the meridians in her body could withstand it. He had to check and verify this during the treatment process. Among the people in the room, Wang Yao held Su Xiaoxue's hands. They didn't know what he was doing. What kind of treatment method is this? This was the common question in their hearts at this time. One was sucking and the other was transferring. This method was a bit like the mutual fighting skill. There were two different ways of using neishi. It required one to do two things at the same time. It was the first time Wang Yao used neishi in this way. It was also a kind of test for him. Fortunately, after a period of practice, his control of neishi had been very detailed. Although it was a bit difficult to do this, it was not impossible as long as he was careful and calmed down to control it. Su Xiaoxue's feeling was the most intuitive and strange. One of her arms felt very hot. It was as if streams of fire had entered her body from there, and then found an outlet to vent and flow out of her body. The other arm felt a warm current entering her body. At first, it was very gentle. Then it became very cool. This strange feeling was absolutely unimaginable and unbelievable if she didn't feel it herself. What is this? Su Xiaoshue's heart was also full of doubts. In this room, in addition to Wang Yao, no one knew what he was doing and what kind of method he was using. It seems to be good. At first, Wang Yao didn't dare to be too fast because he was afraid that Su Xiaoshue's body couldn't bear it and there would be another mistake. As time went by, gradually he began to speed up and urge Neishi. Su Xiaoshue's forehead was sweating. In fact, her right arm couldn't bear it. It was burning as if there was a fire burning from the inside out, but she still endured it. Take a rest. Wang Yao could see her pain. I'm sorry, I was a little too hasty. He sincerely apologized. It's okay. I can bear this pain. Su Xiaoshue smiled. Then the caretaker put Su Xiaoshue on the bed. After she rested for a while, Wang Yao continued the treatment. Let's change. Okay. This time, the two arms were changed. The change from absorbing fire poison to infusing inner breath could be considered as compensation for the damage done just now. This time the treatment took longer than the first time because Wang Yao controlled the process very slowly. By the time the treatment was over, it was almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Wang Yao didn't feel tired. On the contrary, he felt very energetic. This kind of treatment had a stimulating effect on his control of Neishi. For Su Xiaoshue, the treatment process was both painful and tiring. It consumed a lot of physical strength. She couldn't bear it anymore. After the long torture of the illness, her spirit was far more tenacious than that of ordinary people. Well, this treatment is over. I'll come again after a day of rest. Okay, thank you. Su Xiaoshue smiled and thanked him. You're welcome. Have a good rest. Okay. Wang Yao checked again. After confirming that there were no major problems, he got up and left the room. Su Xiaoshue looked at his back. She wanted to talk more with Dr. Wang. One day later, he will come again. The sky outside was bright and sunny. The sky in autumn was high and far. Even in Jing, the weather was very good. Such a day was suitable for going out for a walk. In the treatment center where Chen Zhou was. What's going on? He hasn't had a relapse yet? Yes. Are you sure you're not mistaken? I'm sure, Director. For a psychiatrist, how to determine whether a person was mentally ill or not and whether the person was in a normal state of mind was the most basic requirement. He thought he could do this. Wow, this is amazing. Who did Director Fu let him meet yesterday? If this person is really so good, he should have specially invited him here. The weather was good. Wang Yao was not in a hurry to go home. He wanted to walk around and have a look. I'll go with you. Okay. Where are we going? Anywhere. Let's go to the mountains outside. Okay. The mountains outside Jing were relatively close to Xiangshan Mountain and Miaofeng Mountain. Even these mountains were dozens of kilometers away from the city center. Chen Ying's car was driving at a moderate speed. Shall we go to Miaofeng Mountain? Okay. It was almost 4 p.m. when they arrived at Miaofeng Mountain. At this time, people on the mountain had started to go down. There were basically no people on the mountain. There was a temple on the mountain. Along the way, there were a few pedestrians in 2s and 3s. Wang Yao walked very slowly. As he walked, he enjoyed the scenery on both sides with great interest. The highest peak on the mountain was more than 1,000 meters above sea level. Could be called a real mountain. It was not like Nanshan Hill, where Wang Yao lived. There was a lot of vegetation on the mountain. Some of the trees were quite thick and looked a little old. The reason why Wang Yao went up the mountain at this time was actually a sudden whim. Perhaps he missed Nanshan Hill because he did not see any mountains in Jing. He just wanted to walk up the mountain and have a look. There were temples on the mountain. They were Huiji Temple and Guanyin Hall. From afar, he could see green smoke rising. Well, the smell of the mountain was better and more natural. The qi of this place was also more clear. It was not as dirty as in Jing. Huiji Temple is up ahead. Shall we go in and have a look? Okay. The two of them entered the temple and met a few monks. They walked with light steps and whispered to each other. The expressions on their faces were very peaceful. It's not bad to be a monk on this mountain, Wang Yao said with a smile. It's not bad, but the requirements are also very high, Qining said. Ah, I remember that it seems to require a Buddhism major to be a monk. Yes, as long as it is a registered temple, there are now requirements in this area. The general requirement is to have a bachelor's degree in Buddhism. Chapter 370. In today's society, it was difficult to be a proper monk. Namo Amitabha. The monks were chanting in the temple. Wang Yao stood outside and listened for a while. Not sincere, he said with a smile. Not sincere? What kind of sincerity? Qining asked with some confusion. Those monks chanting sutras are not sincere. Wang Yao pointed inside the temple. How do you know that my heart is not sincere? Yes, I can tell from their chanting. They are just chanting to deal with it, Wang Yao said with a smile. Sincerity came from the heart, so the voice was powerful and full of some kind of special emotion. Most of the chanting monks in the temple were weak. With Wang Yao's extraordinary hearing, he could even tell that some of the monks were not chanting at all. He didn't know what they were chanting. These people. He and Qining walked around the temple and went to other places. The scenery on the mountain could only be considered ordinary, but Wang Yao still walked around with interest. Compared to the cities surrounded by walls and reinforced concrete, he preferred such a natural environment. Unknowingly, the sky darkened. Wang Yao enjoyed himself to the fullest. Let's go back. Okay. The two of them walked down the mountain. On the way, they met a monk of medium build. He brushed past Wang Yao. Wang Yao stopped and looked back at the monk who was going up the mountain. Monk. He called out to the monk. What's the matter? The monk stopped and looked back at Wang Yao with some confusion. Is it delicious? What? The monk was stunned. Mutton, Wang Yao said with a smile. Amitabha, I don't know what you are talking about, the monk said very seriously. Well, it looks like it. Wang Yao smiled. Monk, take care. Almsgiver, take care. The monk put his palms together and bowed to Wang Yao and Qining. Then he turned and left. Interesting. Wang Yao smiled and continued down the mountain. Sir, how do you know he has eaten meat? I smelled it. He smelled like mutton and cumin, Wang Yao said. Not only did he eat meat, but he also drank wine and slept with women, Wang Yao said. Ah, I know this mutton and wine. I can smell it. You can even tell that he's looking for a woman? That's easy to explain. There's a fragrance on his body. It's the smell of perfume. A monk shouldn't use perfume, especially such a pungent perfume. That person is a monk who drinks meat and drinks wine. He does look like a monk. It's a pity that he has such a good appearance, Qining said. Let's go. Shall we go and eat mutton? Sure. After Wang Yao said that, the monk who went up the mountain started cursing. Motherf ***, you're meddling in a lot of things. But that girl is going to sound pretty good. Amitabha, I've sinned. When he passed by the temple hall, he hurriedly bowed to the bodhisattva sitting on the lotus flower. The bodhisattva looked at him with a smile. Bodhisattva, I've broken the precepts again today. Please forgive me. After that, he turned and left. The bodhisattva statue behind him was still sitting there and smiling. The cigarette in front of him was still burning. This was just a small episode. After going down the mountain, Qining drove Wang Yao to a famous hot pot restaurant to eat instant boiled mutton. They ordered a few side dishes. The main dish was the hot pot. On the mountain, he eats meat and chants to Buddha. He seems to be sincere. At the foot of the mountain, He drinks wine, eats meat, and sleeps with women. What a monk! Looking at the boiling hot pot, Wang Yao thought of the monk again. They are paid on the mountain, Chen Ying said. Is that so? Of course, there are a lot of believers there. During festivals, there will be people who burn incense and worship Buddha. There will be incense money. Sometimes, the first incense can be bought with a lot of money. Where does the money go? How much does the monk spend every day? I've seen that the tea they drink is top grade. Oh, that's really carefree. Hearing Chen Ying's words, Wang Yao was quite surprised. Are these monks living such a good life? They eat meat and chants to Buddha every day. No wonder they have distracting thoughts. It's too tasteless. Yes. The meat is served. Shall we dig in? Okay. Dinner was a joyous meal. When the two of them returned to the small courtyard, it was already past 8 p.m. I'll contact someone. I'll take you to try the gun tomorrow. Sure, as you wish, Wang Yao replied. In fact, every man had a dream about guns. Wang Yao had also thought about it, but it was now a thing of the past. At night, the wind started to blow. It was a little cold on the body. Chen Ying contacted the place. In fact, these things were not as simple as they seemed. Just as Chen Ying was about to go to bed, she received a call from the treatment center. Her brother fell ill. At this time, she realized that from the last time she and Wang Yao went to treat her brother until now, her brother had always been in a sober state. This surprised her. As far as she knew, this was the longest time her brother had been in a sober state. She looked at the time. It was almost 9 p.m. Should I talk to him? She went out and knocked on Wang Yao's door. Wang Yao put down the book in his hand and got up to open the door. What's the matter? My brother fell ill just now. Let's go and have a look, Wang Yao said without hesitation. Chen Ying made the phone call while driving. At this time of night, there were relatively few cars in Jing. The time it took them to get there was shorter than during the day. In addition to Director Fu, there was also a doctor who received them. After Director Fu introduced him, Wang Yao found out that he was Chen Zhou's attending doctor. The room has been arranged for you, but he just took some medicine. Let's go and have a look, Wang Yao said. Okay. The room was still the same, but Chen Zhou had fallen asleep because of the medicine. Wang Yao went to the bed and carefully checked it. This is strange. He clearly felt that some of the meridians in his head were disordered again. Just the day before yesterday, he had straightened these meridians with external force. Has he been hit, especially in the head? No. Dr. Li was very sure. It was precisely because the patient's condition was very special that he was very concerned about him. What's wrong, Dr. Wang? It's a little strange. He then used the method of Neishi to straighten these disordered meridians. However, he did not wake Chen Zhou up. Instead, he carefully checked other parts of his body. There is no problem. He could not figure it out for the time being. Well, when he wakes up, you can continue to observe him and see when he has a relapse. Remember his experience before the relapse. Okay. Excuse me, Dr. Li said. What's the matter? Is the reason why Chen Zhou didn't have a relapse today because he received your treatment? Dr. Li asked tentatively. Yes. Really? He was very excited when he heard Wang Yao's promise. You? Oh, then can I ask, what kind of treatment method did you use? Can it be used on other mental patients as well? Well, sorry. In the face of this somewhat fanatical doctor, Wang Yao decisively blocked all the latter's words with his first sentence. Ah, that's a pity. Dr. Li originally had a lot of things to say to Wang Yao, but he could only swallow them all into his stomach. Let's go back. Okay. On the way back, Chen Ying could not help but ask, Dr. Wang, what's the matter with my brother? Some of the meridians in his head are disordered. Disordered meridians. She was a person who practiced martial arts, so she was not unfamiliar with this term. How could this be? I can't tell you the specific reason, Wang Yao said. We can only wait until the next time he has a relapse to check. It's best if we can have a video of his relapse. That way we may be able to find some clues. In fact, the best way was to stay in the treatment center and watch over Chunzhou. When he had a relapse, he would naturally be able to get some of the information he wanted. However, this was somewhat unrealistic. Okay, I'll contact them. Because they had gone to the treatment center, it took 2 hours to go back and forth. In addition to the delay in the treatment center, it was already past 1 o'clock in the morning when they returned to the small courtyard. This time, I really want to thank you so much, Dr. Wang, Chen said sincerely before entering the house. It's a win-win situation for us, Wang Yao said. I also hope to cure your brother's illness. This kind of illness is also a challenge for me, and it can also improve my medical skills. Although she said that, Chen Ying still remembered this kindness in her heart. If it were any other passerby, Wang Yao would definitely not treat them. Well, you must be tired after a day. Rest well. Good night. Good night. The next day, Wang Yao woke up very early and practiced the stance in the small courtyard. He was still communicating with heaven and earth. This sounded a bit mysterious, but in fact, people themselves were a part of heaven and earth. There was potential in the body. Wang Yao believed that these methods of practice were to constantly improve oneself and break through oneself, allowing people to have a better communication with heaven and earth. I've already contacted them. We can go over in the morning to test the gun, Chen Ying said to Wang Yao when they were having breakfast. Okay. Chen Ying drove her to what should be the station of the armed police. The management of firearms in China was very strict. However, in some special circumstances, outsiders were allowed to visit and use them, such as interviews, military training, and special personnel like Chen Ying. An officer here obviously knew her. He followed her all the way to the shooting range. Some firearms were already prepared on a long table. There were pistols, rifles, and even a sniper rifle. Chapter 371. Which one do you want to try first? Can I try any of them? Wang Yao said. Of course, Chen Ying said with a smile. Well, I'll take a look first. Wang Yao reached out his hand and touched all the guns and sharp weapons. Shall I try the pistol first? Wang Yao picked up a pistol. Okay, that's a steel target. Chen Ying pointed to the target in the distance. It's 50 meters away. Is it a bit far? Not far. I can see it very clearly. Then give it a try. The officer accompanying him smiled. He was an expert in using guns. When he saw Wang Yao holding the gun, he knew that Wang Yao was a layman. It would be good for such a person to be able to hit the target at such a distance. Basically, he had to rely on luck. 50 meters seemed very close, but it was actually quite far. In Wang Yao's sight, the steel target was very clear. He could even see the bullet point on it. Let's try. His hand holding the gun was very steady. He loaded the gun and pulled the trigger. Duh. A gunshot was heard. Dang. It hit the steel target. I hit it? Coincidence? Duh. Another gunshot. Dang. The bullet hit the steel target. Hit it again? Once was a coincidence, twice was it? The two officers looked at Wang Yao with different expressions. Could it be that you have practiced shooting before? Shooting, to put it bluntly, was accurate, steady, and years of practice. What was a sharpshooter? It was talent and a box of bullets. Duh. The third gunshot. The bullet hit the steel target accurately. Have you practiced shooting before? Chen Ying couldn't help but ask. No. Wang Yao shook his head with a smile. He continued to shoot. The bullet tore the air. It expanded and burned. Hiss. Phew. Wang Yao connected his breath with the breath between heaven and earth. He felt the change in the moment. It was very short, but he felt the bullet traveling in the air. He didn't see it, but he felt it. It was a very strange feeling. I feel it, he whispered. What did you say? Nothing. Wang Yao put down the pistol and picked up an automatic rifle. Can I try this? Okay. The distance of the steel target was adjusted to 100 meters. Wang Yao held the gun very steadily. He could still clearly see the steel target 100 meters away. At this moment, Wang Yao's eyes were almost like binoculars. Da-da. 2 consecutive shots landed on the steel target as usual. The rifle didn't seem to be moving at all. So stable. The officer at the side sighed. Faster, faster than before. This was what Wang Yao felt. He could still capture it. Does this mean that I can dodge bullets? Wang Yao suddenly had such an idea. After that, he tested the guns one by one. Firstly, he wanted to fulfill his dream. Secondly, and most importantly, he wanted to capture the trajectory of the bullets in the air. 5 meters, no, even closer. Who is this person? The officer asked Chen Ying. One doctor. What? Doctor, are you sure? What was a doctor's job? Prescribing medicine, treating illnesses, and performing surgeries. However, he had never heard of a doctor who could shoot so accurately with a pistol or a rifle. Really? Chen Ying was also very curious. In the morning, Wang Yao was very happy. He had a new discovery and a new possibility. Your marksmanship is great. Chen Ying praised after coming out of the hospital. Marksmanship? Haha. I haven't used a gun except for a few bullets during military training in university, Wang Yao said. Really? Of course. I'm very happy today. I'll treat you to lunch. Wang Yao's sudden words made Chen Ying very confused. You're happy just like that? Wang Yao smiled. He felt that he was going to go further. He could feel the breath between heaven and earth, the air around him, Chen Ying's breathing, footsteps, and arm movements. He didn't need to look or listen. Breath. Very good. Wang Yao opened his hands as if he had caught something. What do you want to eat for lunch? I'll treat you. Okay, anything. They chose a very ordinary home-cooked restaurant and had lunch. It didn't seem to be very sincere, but in fact, the food in the restaurant tasted good. Chen Ying ate very happily. At this time, in a club somewhere in Beijing. Jinghe, hasn't he made an appointment yet? No, he's a bit of a loner. Haha, there are very few people you can't handle. I'll ask him again. The situation is special. It's not good to make it too stiff. Okay, I'll wait for your good news. Everyone had their own small circle. In Beijing, the situation was more special because the number of rich and powerful people in Beijing was almost the highest in the whole country. Guozhenghe also had his own circle, which was basically made up of people who were similar to him. His family members were generally working in the government, and their positions were not low. Naturally, the descendants of the same age as him formed a circle. Wang Yao. He was not in a good mood when he came out of the club. What the hell are you thinking? In the afternoon, Wang Yao called Chen Buyuan to make an appointment. Chen Buyuan took his father-in-law directly to the small courtyard where he lived. The old man's complexion was very good. More importantly, he came here on crutches. Thank you so much, Dr. Wang. He expressed his gratitude to Wang Yao as soon as they met. You're welcome. Wang Yao didn't say much and checked the old man's body. He was in good condition and recovering well. The blocked channels and collaterals in his waist had been dredged. The next thing to do was to exercise and recover. Wang Yao treated the old man's legs and waist with a massage. This time, he used a small amount of neishi as support as usual. After the massage, the old man felt very good. His legs were warm. It felt like he was soaking in a hot spring. It was very comfortable. Not long after Chen Buyuan and his father-in-law left, Guozhenghe came over with a bottle of wine. At this time, Chen Ying was preparing dinner in the kitchen. Hello, Wang. Hello. I'm here to get a free meal. Do you mind? Guozhenghe asked with a smile. Welcome. This is the wine I took from my father. Try it. The classic packaging. It was Maotai. Wang Yao didn't know what year it was. Since it was from Guozhenghe's father, it couldn't be wrong. Okay. Don't drink too much. Wang Yao didn't like to drink. He only drank a little occasionally. Chen Ying's cooking speed was not slow. Soon, several exquisite side dishes were placed on the table. Guozhenghe opened the bottle of wine. The strong aroma of the wine filled the room. It smells so good. Well, try it. Guozhenghe poured him a full glass of wine. Thank you. Wang Yao didn't know much about wine. He just felt that it was very fragrant. It didn't have the spicy taste. How's Xiaoshue's illness? She's recovering well. The two of them talked about trivial things during dinner. Other than that, Guozhenghe didn't talk about anything important. Where's your sister? She went to Shijiang. Why did she go there? Wang Yao asked curiously. I don't know why she quarreled with my father. She went there to relax, Guozhenghe said. Oh. Since it was a family matter, it was not convenient for him to ask more. Hey, Brother Wang, I have something to ask you. Go ahead. As a doctor, what kind of disease do you think is the most difficult to treat? Wang Yao was stunned. He didn't expect Guozhenghe to ask such a question. The most difficult to treat? He looked at the wine glass in his hand. I haven't seen it. It's a stubborn disease with no knowledge reserve. Wang Yao thought for a moment and answered. For example, cancer? Well, as far as the current situation is concerned, this disease is indeed extremely difficult to treat. Have you treated it before? Guozhenghe continued to ask. I've seen such patients, but I haven't treated them, Wang Yao said. Why do you suddenly ask about this? Nothing. I'm just curious and have nothing to do, Guozhenghe said with a smile. Let's drink. I'll toast you. I don't dare. Wang Yao only drank a small glass of the good wine Guozhenghe brought. The two of them didn't leave until after 9 p.m. Guozhenghe left. Drive safe. Got it. You can go back. Guozhenghe waved his hand with a smile. He drank most of this bottle of wine. Young Master Guo has something on his mind. This was Wang Yao's first feeling. However, Guozhenghe didn't say what it was, so he didn't ask. Sister Chen, didn't young Master Guo go to work in a poor county? Why is he so free? You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.